AskCherado. It's AskCherado, going worldwide. Now call me up and we'll talk for a while. If you want to keep it simple and hear the tea, believe me, this is the place to be. Excuse you, you crazy for real. Excuse you, you crazy for real. Real chica say word. AskCherado.
What's up? It's Cherado on the AskCherado Show right here on WLVSListenVisionLive.com. Here tonight with my co-host, Grindstone.
Call me Black Ambrosia.
Our producer, the Urbanista.
Hey.
Our controversial commentator, Kevin Lance Murray.
A.K.A. the Black Larry David.
And our very special guest tonight who's going to introduce himself and tell our audience a little bit about who he is and what he does.
All right. R. Kane Thomas. I'm a author, poet, filmmaker. He's got my book in his hand. There you go. NAACP Image Award nominee, winner of the Phyllis Wheatley Book Award.
You gotta say that stuff slow. That's
yeah,
important.
All right.
Many people will never see that
Ever.
that level of accolade.
All right, let's back it up. Winner of the Phyllis Wheatley Book Award for First Fiction. Nominated for an NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Debut Author for this book, Antebellum. Currently making the transition from literature to film with the aspirations of writing, directing, and producing my own films based on my own books.
Okay, because I act. I'm an actor as well.
All right,
so
bet. We need to talk.
I'll give you my information. I do jokes. I can do different characters.
All right.
I could be angry.
Well, as always, we want to hear from you. Hit us up on social media at AskCherado. Call us 202-270-0767. Tonight we're talking about Grindstone's special topic.
When your kid and you have become friends, and now it's backfiring.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Friendly parents.
Yep.
Taking
Friendly
it too
parents,
far.
Real
You
friends.
pointed a specific terminology, though.
Yeah. Kidamies.
Explain that, please.
Well, it's kind of like your enemy, but it's your kid. Okay, so I have a friend, and he was, and it's funny because I've never been in this situation as a parent where the parents bring you in and they're talking parent stuff about how they really feel about their kids. It might happen like in teenage years more so than kid years because the teenage years
It's when
apparently
kids
is
are
a real
assholes.
challenge.
Yeah.
So he was like, I really just, like he was telling me, he was being like all politically correct and telling me, what was going on with his son feeling himself. And he was like, man, I tell you, I just really want to throw him in the river. He was like, I just want to tie his hands up in front of him, and then just throw him in the river. And I wouldn't tie his feet up because I give him a chance. But I could tell that he was at the end of his rope with the kid. But the problem is he had been too considerate of that young man's opinion throughout his life. Now he's a teenager and feels that he has an opinion all the time that counts. Like, it's okay to believe in yourself, but he thinks it counts.
So you're old school with it then, Grindstone.
I mean, it's functional.
But it's definitely a more old school mentality. Like, I feel like a newer age parent doesn't believe that their child shouldn't have a word.
No, your child should have I believe personally. Now, granted, I'm on a win streak right now, but my son ain't acted a fool yet.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to get all on my high horse. Well, parents, you losers, listen. I don't want to do that. But I will say that without laws, you don't have order. And if you allow a kid to establish order the way a young man is feeling, and you could probably speak for young women, but I'm saying for the way a young teenage boy who might be hitting the weight room, who might have got him his first little taste of something.
Yeah.
Man, you can't tell him nothing.
Oh Lord.
You can't tell him nothing. Like there has to be a slight element of fear in order to keep him on his, so he'll fall back a little bit.
When I heard this topic, the first thing I thought about was like the generalized cultural differences, right? The idea like the black family is like, you ain't getting nothing. You just be quiet. Just unless we ask you what you think, you don't say nothing. And then the far left, the extreme of that would be, the white parents that are like, oh, whatever you want, Johnny, like whatever you think. And like, this, I feel like it's come up as like part of the conversation, not necessarily a show topic, the idea of, black children being raised to only speak when it's appropriate versus white children being raised to feel like entitled to, like, no matter what the situation, this is what I think and this is how I feel and this is what I'm going to do because of, I was told I could always do what I want to do and I'm going to do and say what I want. I'm not eating spinach for dinner, Dad.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
I like hot dogs.
Hot dogs
Yeah.
is all I'm eating. So I guess for me as a parent, it's like finding the balance between the two, right? I don't want my children to grow up feeling so like restrained and constricted that they don't feel free to speak appropriately when they,
Right.
have the right opportunity to express themselves. But I also don't want them growing up feeling entitled and spoiled and just feeling like, I'll do whatever I want to do whenever I say I'm going to do it because that may or may not work out for them. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't have, like, a spoiled kid is so terrible. Like,
Oh,
because
shut up, Grindstone. You're spoiled.
I'm not
You're
spoiled.
your mama's only child. You're definitely spoiled. Call in, Mom.
Ouch.
You closed your eyes in a way where you knew you wasn't telling the truth. You
No,
don't want to.
they were all the way open. I was looking down, and I have the Asiatic flap, so sometimes you
Woo.
can't see.
Is that what that is?
Asiatic.
I think that's
Hey.
a different thing.
I know, right?
Wait. I got a question.
I'm not spoiled.
If your kid is your friend, does that mean you can't beat him?
Oh, I beat my
Oh, no,
friend.
That's
no.
what I'm
I
saying.
was
Like,
No.
gonna say me too.
No, what you mean, beat him physically?
yeah, I mean, like whoop him, like spank him, like corporal punishment.
I believe you should totally whoop them, but the parents that I'm, because see, this is, okay, in my circle, I have a lot of circles, but in this parental thing, I'm the cool parent, right? I mean, that's just how it works.
First date.
Right.
No, I'm saying,
Right.
because,
So you don't beat your kids?
now, you know what, my son is,
He got reach now though. Like you can't like.
You can't really
I mean,
box with him.
no,
and-
no, no, no,
know.
no, I would,
haven't
You
had
gotta
to
put that
beat your
fan on
kid.
when
no,
they
that's what
like
I'm saying.
two.
I've never had to, I've never had
Never
to,
spanked him his whole life.
never his whole life. And
Wow.
he's
He's
never
very
gotten out of
well
line.
behaved.
Some
Wow.
kids
Very well
don't
behaved.
need to be
Right,
spanked.
right. However, I have maintained this cloud of X factor over him through wrestling and randomly punching. And so, like,
But it's like fun. Like you're
It's-
being,
it's
being
fun.
playful,
But it's
you
like a
remind him,
reminder.
like,
yeah,
no,
right,
I
yeah,
won't beat
still
you, but
got
I
it.
steer you in the chest.
Right, yeah, he'll
so
know.
that power's still right.
yeah. Like,
Okay.
so he and I have never had problems. Like, we've never, and it's not because of that, but he just has a peaceful, calm spirit. No, he doesn't watch the show. He's doing homework.
That you know
Well,
of.
let him
Right.
watch tonight.
Or chilling with his boot thing, roll up a
You
fat
gonna get it
booty
tomorrow.
right now.
Doobie.
No, but like, okay, so so this started at a young age. Like, me and some people had kids at the same time, so therefore some of them I met like in these little classes where you're like, the pregnancy thing and like just different stuff, or the kids at the same swim class.
Sports, whatever.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
that little circle. So I'm cool with certain parents, but like from a young age, like their kid would just get up and go run and grab some Cheetos and do something or
They
whatever.
feel like they want to do.
Yeah, and then like with my son, I'd be like, okay, we don't do that. That's not our thing. And then so like when he would ask, may I please have something or something, they'd be like, my God, he like they would be surprised that he had some regular manners, and not in a way where they were saying anything bad about me, but just they didn't have any kind of lawful institution.
Well, it sounds
in
like you
their
treated
situation.
him always like a person, like you
Yeah.
communicate with him.
Right, I do communicate with him, and when he's wrong, when it's time to shut it down, I shut him. Is shut down. But I think the parents that I'm talking about are the ones who attempted to be friendly and extra open. And well, honey, what do you want
I
for
don't know
dinner?
if it always
No,
works that
no.
way though, because I know some badass kids that have some strict ass parents. Like, I can think of one specifically. I was gonna say my little cousin, but he's not so little anymore. He's 2 years younger than me, so he's 36 years old. But I remember growing up together, and his parents would beat him. They would punish him. They would do a little bit of everything to him. As soon as he did something wrong, and he was just a badass.
Well,
and
he had
there's
a tolerance.
nothing. No, but I feel like there are children like that.
No,
out
some
there.
kids are off
It
the
doesn't
chain.
matter
I mean, I was
how.
bad. I got beat. My family's Jamaican. You dig?
Yeah,
Like,
and
I
it
got
doesn't
beat on the
matter
regular.
how you are disciplining them. They are who they are,
Yeah,
so they're
I'm
going to do
bad.
what they're going to do, regardless of how the parent is disciplining.
Yeah, but
I think it's a
sometimes
combination of both. Maybe not, because I mean, just you're not even thinking about my own family or maybe my friends, but just in working in education for so many years, like you have parents who just always putting that idle threat out there. I'm gonna beat you if you do this. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you. Yeah, or some who just overdoing this, always spanking their kid, like always. Even like you go to the grocery store, it's like I'll
that's-
beat your
that's-
ass after going. It's like, God, like give the kid breathe. And you also have parents who don't do anything, and sometimes you have a little bit of both. But I think what's important about, like, if you're going to use physical punishment in whichever shape or form that is to have the like there needs to be a balance, right? Like in any form of punishment that you give someone, whether it's just the way that you're telling them you gotta go timeout, like you can't go to timeout forever. So once they come out of timeout, what are you going to do to teach the lesson? Like, where is the bridge between whatever the punishment is, whatever you choose to be punishment, and what the behavior is that you want to the kid to show? And then I think a good point Sherado just made is like that doesn't work with every kid. Like, for example, for me, with my son, my daughter is 2 years older than my son. She's 15 now. My son is 13. When she was in school, she got to be in like maybe 4 or 5 and like acted up in class, took her home, made her take off all her clothes, spanked her on the butt with the belt like twice, and she was like, no more problem. Like, we were good for school.
You left a scar? Did you leave a scar?
No
You gotta
scars.
leave a scar.
No. But then my son,
As a
the
reminder.
flip side of that, when he would come home with like red sheet stuff from school, and I would spank him, and he'd be like, "Oh, okay," and go back to school and do the same thing.
Yeah, he had
Like,
that callus. He got
it was
that
nothing.
callus.
It was nothing. But for him, like I'd had to like do some mental like scare tactics with him. Like when he was like 5, I took him to the police station, and I was like,
Oh my God.
Scared
Oh.
straight.
"This is not a game.
See,
like if you keep playing around,
That's good parenting.
this
rough,
is what's
though.
gonna
That's-
happen. Like we don't play these games in school." And like the police officer was totally with it. He's like, "Yes, young man, your mom told me you've been acted up in school." And he was like, "Oh man, I don't want to be here."
Did he handcuff him? Did he handcuff him?
Many scared
No,
straight.
Yeah.
but it was just like he needed the logical. Even now, like when he gets in trouble, he does something wrong, coming at him, like fussing at him, yelling at him. No, I need to come at him in a way where I can explain to him compassionately why I'm disappointed, and then tell him how much he disappointed not just me, but not doing the best that he can for himself, and that will resonate with him.
Well, see, okay, it all comes down to leadership tactics, because being a parent is being a leader, and I think two things that all effective leaders have: they gain respect through caring, like they care for the team, all right, and that care might come out in different ways, but they end up caring for the team. Another thing that all leaders have who are effective leaders is an element of fear from those who follow that leader. I mean, you can take that to any situation. The reason why people follow that person is because that person is the most adequate leader, because that person has put down a demonstration in some part of their something, and they can reference that
And it
demonstration.
doesn't have to be a fear of violence. It could be a fear of being outside of the group that you
Yeah,
want to be in.
it's a fear of
It's a
fear of
factor.
Of losing something.
It's a fear of a consequence that
Yeah.
they're like, man, but see, disappointment doesn't keep somebody from bucking for too long.
Well, it depends. I mean, I think for sons and mothers, it does. Like, I think it's a big deal.
Yeah, it
for
depends on the relationship.
The
most
relationship.
definitely.
Like, I mean, because
Yeah.
like if
Maybe
my
not
daughter doesn't
father,
care
son.
about disappointing
Yeah,
me,
maybe
like
not
she's like,
father, son.
whatever.
Well,
My
yeah.
son would be heartbroken if I'm like, you really disappointed me. He wants to make it right.
Okay, now let me tell you, as a former kid in the house.
Okay.
Former
Okay.
bad kid.
Oh, I
You're
love
a bad
I
kid.
love when men say this, because like every man
It's
child
just like
is the
you.
same.
I'm just saying. Well, weren't we talking about the mother-son relationship?
No, but you're about to say you're
I
the
was
man
just
child,
talking-
Wait, so
and
we
this
weren't
is how
talking-
it is. Go ahead.
Well, this is our. After you take away all my chips, and he's like, "Go ahead and play." Okay. Nah, but this is what it is. A lot of boys learn how to work their mother
Oh, absolutely.
because the mother will allow it.
Yeah.
And then so like it might be something that you really, really want to do. You really want to do that, but she'll be kind of mad or whatever. But then you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna act like I didn't. But like you play the whole thing out in your mind, and then like you're down for the you're down for the finger wagging. If moms will knock your head off, you'd be like, nah, I gotta go home. Like I remember
So choking my son up is okay.
It
Yeah,
totally
you gotta
is.
choke
Yeah,
him. And
it
you
is.
can hit him in the throat.
No,
also.
it'll
In the
keep
chest?
In the chest,
Going
like
to
in
his
the
body?
sternum and the throat.
like even now. Okay, I know my mom won't hit me for anything, but it's something about something in my head that kind of has me like when she says hurry up and do something, I'm hurrying up and doing something, and it's not out of the fear of disappointing her.
It's respect.
It's respect, but it's something in me that is like the child that I was. I'm like, oh shit, she might flip.
That's them
Yeah,
chromosomes.
yeah.
She might flip, and I'm just like, okay, let me hurry up and do that. But I know she won't like physically do anything, but it's something
But that's some
that
level
has
of
me in line.
disappointment, whether you want to admit that or not. That's some level of not wanting to disappoint her.
I don't want to disappoint her,
Because-
but I'm
Right,
saying
which is what she's
I don't think any of
saying.
us want to disappoint.
There was
our
a
parents.
consequence with
was-
that
Yeah,
back-
you
back
know,
in the
some
day.
of it was
And on
strict.
that
Specifically.
note, we'll be right back on the AskCherado Show after this short break on WLVS.listenvisionlive.com.
better hit
Hi,
them kids.
Jaden.
Dab.
Everybody trying to get the last word.
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Go to grindstoneuniversal.com. Right now. Knock it off. Go to grindstoneuniversal.com. I see you right there. I see you, Playboy. Yeah. He knew where to go. grindstoneuniversal.com.
Said I had a mother who could sing. Said I had a mother who could sing.
Just recently, Pope Francis got folks riled up when he condoned the disciplining practice. Now, Stephanie and Bethany, what are your thoughts?
So I grew up with the whackety whack, don't talk back kind of parenting style. And I will tell you that parenting through anger, we can get over the precipice where we lose control of ourselves. And for me, that is not conducive to teaching or discipline. Because discipline, the definition, is to teach, to correct, and to redirect. Anytime anger comes into play, you lose it. It no longer becomes about the child and helping them
You
learn
can
and
spank,
correct.
but not
Lose your cool.
display anger.
But even
Yeah.
if you look at a child,
If you talk to them first, I talk to my children first and tell them why they're getting a spanking. And then they know. Kids are a lot smarter than we take them.
Yeah.
So why do you spank them? Why do we No. Spare the rod. Why do the smacking? Spare the rod.
Spoil
the child. So why is every spanked child should be perfect then?
No.
I believe I could get a better understanding, especially until I can actually reason with him and get him to understand what's going on, that he better understands reward and punishment at a younger age, because now I can't sit here and tell a 3-year-old, like, you shouldn't do this and that and explain everything out. But if I tell him not to do something and spank him for doing it, he's going to remember that. He's not going to do it again. I don't spank my kids out of anger. I spank my kids out of correction. I won't hit my child if I'm angry. So if I tell you to do something one time, I'm going to spank you after that. I'm not going to tell you to do something 10 or 12 times. Now I'm pissed off and I'm going to hit you. No. Like my parents told me, delayed obedience is disobedience.
Exactly.
I tell you something once, you do it then.
But the
you don't do it
example
then,
you're
I'm
showing
spank
is
you.
if I don't like your behavior, it's okay for me to be violent, and that's
No,
the
it's not. If I don't like your behavior, you're going to be
violent. So if I don't like
corrected
your
for it.
behavior, it's okay for me to hit you.
No, it's an authority.
You're talking to a child.
You take a child. A child is like an average child, 40 pounds. 40-pound child. You have an average adult, 170 pounds. Do the math. The child is a
We're
quarter.
not beating
the
your
child.
child.
The child is a quarter
beating
of the
the
weight.
child. This is not abuse.
You do the same math with an adult, 680
You know what spanking is?
to
We have to stop
that.
I don't think James is tackling his boys.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm going out there. Give me one of them.
get your ass over there.
Get on the line.
Get up over there now.
You know?
Get your ass down there. I don't think that's what he's doing. This is a tough one, the spanking thing, with a lot of people. I was raised that way. And for me, it worked out wonderfully. I understood. My father and mother never spanked me out of anger.
No.
First time he tell me something, that's it.
Right.
Second time, it was a punishment, a privilege, or something like that. After that, it's let's go. You're not listening. You're not getting the message. And I've used that with my sons. I can't imagine, just like you can't imagine striking your child. You can't imagine that.
No.
It's unthinkable for you.
I mean, well, it's actually, I mean, I started out spanking my son, but I decided quickly that that was not the way I wanted to teach him.
And how, what did you do?
And there is another way. He behaves really well.
Does
it actually
he
helped
listen to
a
you
lot
the
more.
first time?
So why did you stop?
I know it sounds so surprising to believe that there is another way. There's another way that doesn't involve hitting.
We're not saying
but there
it's not.
is.
We're not saying it's not for every child.
And if I don't have to hurt my child,
there's a confusion between
no, if I don't have to physically hurt him,
that's the problem.
If you don't, why would I? Why would I?
I don't beat my child.
I'm not saying
I spank them and I discipline them, but
you know,
we got to get away from that because that's not what this is.
When my son looks at me though and tells me Mommy, why did you hit me? He can't tell the difference. He did say that though.
All right, let me do this. Let's see what the audience thinks. When asked is spanking an outdated method, 39% said yes and 61% said no. This is a subject that you have to agree to disagree on because they're absolutely right in what they're saying. They're absolutely correct in what they're saying. And it does depend a lot on the child.
Yes. Yeah.
It does depend a lot on the situation. It also has a lot to do with how you were raised yourself, how you feel about being raised like that.
Yep.
As I look back on my life, every spanking I got, I fully deserved it. I did not, I've never was spanked for no reason.
Right.
And it was after I had been told and forewarned.
Constant.
And so then, once my father figured that out, it was like, okay, you're not listening. Let me help you understand this better. And to this day, I know you hear this a lot and it doesn't make sense to some people. I could not be more grateful for those moments because it helped turn me into what I've become today. Hey, folks, welcome. Thanks for checking out my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click here to subscribe to my channel. That way you won't miss.
On the AskCherado Show.
You done know.
Now, spanking is cool.
Call us 202
What?
270
What you mean cool?
We just had a whole debate about that.
0767.
If you're adults.
If you're dog spanking.
I don't think that's the kind of spanking we're talking about.
Oh,
though.
like book a hotel.
That's a whole different.
The leather.
Yeah,
Okay.
Airbnb.
Airbnb, and
Nobody
you have
got
a
no
camera.
mask, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's in no rubber.
Because you don't want to soil your own sheets.
You might need some tassels.
It's hotel sex is different.
How did we even get here?
He brought it.
He brought it here.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't take much for them to get anywhere.
So wait, we would like for people to call us in. I always mess it up.
Call in.
Call in.
202.
Call us into the police.
I don't know the number.
270
07
67. Call in because we're all trying to get to the finish line as winners. We all want to like make sure we do the right thing, and there is no manual that is real with it. However, the reason why this was my topic is because I have peers coming to me like, man, come on, can you just take him for the weekend? Can you just take him for the weekend? I'm like,
kids.
That's probably the
they just
age
that
group
bad.
of your son, though. I
Yeah.
guess. And Urbanista, your kid.
well, they're saying that because some of them are having sex and some of them are smoking weed, right?
Okay.
Ooh.
So
when
things
they-
that are not
Yeah.
inherently bad.
No, but
When
when
you
you
get to
your
that point,
children.
though, you passed
Then it's
spanking,
different.
though.
Well, I
You had a whole other level of discipline. You're not going to
Worse
spank a
is what I'm saying.
16-year-old.
well, when
You
you
have girls too. Or
I
girls.
have one girl, but I think it's I'm sorry to piggyback on what he was saying. I think when you don't have kids or when it's not your kid, it's different. Like certain things, you're like, oh, that's not that bad. But then you're like your child, you're like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Of course.
Why are
Still-
you having
they're
sex?
angels. They're
Why are
little
you
angels.
smoking weed?
yeah,
I don't have kids, as we know, but I can speak from my experience growing up and being
That was a
spanked.
long
living
time
in-
ago.
Not that long
Your
ago.
age, son.
excuse
Kevin,
her
it wasn't
eyelashes
that long.
tonight.
It
Wasn't
wasn't
that long
that
ago.
long. That's like what
Long
I'm
time
saying.
ago.
What I was gonna say was
eyelashes are
that
talking
you know
to
I
you.
was so I was spanked, you know what I mean, in all different ways. Sticks.
We can tell.
Extension
Wooden
cords.
spoon.
Right.
Wooden spoon. Metal spoon.
Appropriate.
Bowls. Paintings off the wall. But anyway. But one thing I realized is that when I got to be a certain age, like 15, 16, I was big. Like I was in the weight training. I was going to GNC. I had all the products.
Well, you were a teenager. You were still in the.
I don't think you're supposed to go in GNC at 16.
Well, they let me in. It was Haitians. I told y'all, it's Haitians that ran the store, and they
You
would
got
be in the
ripped
back.
early.
They were doing whatever they were doing. But there was an age where I was
You
like,
should have got
yo,
spanked for stealing.
hold up. I did also, but there was an age where I was like big, and I was like, yo, this spanking, like this not gonna work anymore. Like I tried to step, like I was like, yo, this ain't, this ain't going down anymore. I caught my mom's like strike. I
Well,
caught
how old
her
were
arm.
you?
Oh,
I was like
her arm or the
15,
belt?
14 or 15.
Oh yeah, you were too old to be hitting.
I
anyway.
caught it.
Way too old.
Oh no.
And
that's-
I was, you know what I mean?
You
like
caught her
bigger than
arm?
now, like here.
Oh no.
And I was looking at her, and my father, my father never like punched me. Really, it was mostly slaps on the bottom. My father hit me in the stomach, and after that, I was never spanked again.
Right.
But I realized that I had a respect, or what we were talking about earlier, a desire to meet the approval of my mom, especially, even without the spanking. Like the years of spanking made me be like, okay, like they're serious. They can't do it anymore because I'm bigger,
Right.
but they still want the best for me. And that
Yeah.
was what it was about. So then I started to
Well,
like
you
deal with
process
respect.
all that in that moment.
Nah, like
I was gonna say,
you know,
that's a
hindsight's
serious
2020. You
moment.
dig?
Hell of a moment.
You remember it like it was yesterday. That's a serious moment.
But yeah,
I tried to fight my dad
Oh shit.
it happens. It happens with
I
boys.
never
What
tried
is
to
that?
fight my
Keyword
dad.
is
That didn't
tried.
happen.
in the weight room. You know,
Tried.
in the weight room,
Yeah.
trying to, you feeling yourself. You
So
could,
wait,
I didn't wanna be
I
homeless.
have a question for all of you. So do you really think, at the end of the day, that just because your parents did it to you, that it's an effective way to parent?
Nah, that's not.
I
the
don't think
clear
so.
Not
cut.
necessarily.
That's not,
Not
the clear
any-
cut way to explain it, though.
I'm not explaining. I'm asking
or
a question.
no, wait.
I was
It's
asking-
the my eyelashes.
Well,
I'm asking you.
Okay,
a question.
no. I don't think that just because someone else did it, you should do it. Like, I don't.
No, your parents specifically, because we're more
Yeah.
affected by
No.
our parents.
Right. Nah. No, I don't.
me the
There,
same. I don't
there was
either.
like when my son was, he might have been 6 weeks old. He did some shit. And I was like,
At 6 weeks old.
And you
Yeah.
just, you just,
Set
the
the
first
bounds.
fucking time.
you just burn him with an
but
iron.
I'm
So we're not
saying-
talking about 6 months?
No, weeks.
6 weeks.
He was like a
I
little.
can feel you on that though.
And I was
kinda
like, would you, hey, stop. Like, I'm thinking like, hey, and he started like shaking. I was like, oh, I'll never do that again. And I felt crazy. Like, I was like, oh, okay, wait, hold up. I can't do what my parents did. Like, that's when that lesson kicked in that I don't.
You
I
don't
have
want to go
mimic-
that route.
Yeah, but I was tripping because I thought like that was the way. However, what a boy, this is what, and I get back into the science. This is what mammals do. the young male, and when it's an elephant, it's called when they reach musk, right? And they start giving out, and you may as well call it, say that for a teenage boy.
Puberty.
You start like, your hormones start
getting a little hair on your balls.
And then you start trying to figure out the hierarchy in the room.
Yeah.
And then like you might try something and you get away with it because they don't check you on it because they don't realize you're trying something. But that was a huge victory for you.
Right.
So now you're like, fuck it. I win. This what we doing and this what I'm not doing. And like and a boy will break out like that one day. Right? So my mom's and pops were divorced. My dad came over one day and he was hella cool, but I was looking at it like, oh, nigga, we over here struggling. Come on that player ass shit. Gold Cadillac, nigga. What the fuck you doing over here? My mama don't like you, nigga. and I just went, right? Yeah. And I broke on it. And he had respect in the streets, and so like, but I'm like, fuck it, I've been in the weight room.
Yeah. You've been training.
I catch the bus and nobody.
I want to know how the story ended though. How did the story end?
So we in the kitchen.
Did you live?
So we in the kitchen. He's like, don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that, right?
And,
he was nice about it first. He was nice about it first.
And then so like the more low key he is, the more I'm swelling up.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, oh, I got this, right? I'm gonna steal it. I got this. And then he grabbed my arm.
Oh, that strength, that old man grip.
Yeah, and it was a man joint, right?
Yeah.
And I swear I was like, okay. And then I put everything in his proper file mentally at that point. But if he didn't pump that fear with that,
yeah,
I would have bucked on him.
You might have stolen on him. But one thing I think, for me, it created a separation. Like, the fact that my parents chose corporal punishment separated us in a way. Like, I felt like I couldn't fully communicate with them because they were choosing at times not to fully communicate with me with their arms. Exactly. And I compare this to a friend of mine growing up. We're sitting at the dinner table at his house, and he's talking to his parents about how he's thinking about having sex with his girlfriend. Now I'm 17, he's 16. He's a white person, and I'm at his house, and he's like,
he's white.
He's like, me and my girlfriend have been together for a while. I'm thinking about having sex with her this weekend. And his parents were like, that's a huge step. It's a huge step.
Movie.
Do you know about protecting? They had the talk. But I would never have had that conversation with my parents.
Well, because that's unknown to you.
But
to
this
us,
kid,
to probably everyone.
But this kid kind of was a complete, like, he had no binge behavior. Like, when we would go out and like party in high school, he would drink like calmly. Like, he smoked pot maybe 2 or 3 times. When he went to college, he had his stuff together. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is, having the ability to communicate with your parents is beneficial. Positive. It wasn't just friendship. It wasn't like his parents were the cool ones. They would still discipline him. Yeah. But he could talk to them about things that were going on, about drugs, about sex, about all the things that kids need someone to talk to about, but they're afraid to bring to their parents.
But you have to have that kind of welcoming environment.
And that starts early.
It does.
Safe doing that.
And that's why, instead of hitting your kids, I was saying my sister doesn't hit her kids, she talks like, why are you acting like this? Tell me why you feel the way that you do.
Shut the shit down.
Yeah.
Shut the shit down is important.
I think that's a really, like, shout out to his parents, because then that's a very difficult, like, everybody in your mind when you think you're going to be parent, like, things that you like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But I think it's really difficult to find a balance between telling them, no, oh my God, don't ever do that. Like, and also being able to be like, okay, well, let's have a conversation about that. Because there's certain things that, honestly, I've had an easier time talking about with my students than with my own kids. Yeah. Like, I've had girls come to me and 13 years old be like, oh, I'm pregnant and I don't know who the father is. Ooh.
You're not emotionally invested in the same
way. Yeah, it's still shocking, but at the same time, it is different because it's not my child.
Yeah.
Drugs, sex, and alcohol.
So I'm going to go back to the original question. So I got spanked when I was younger, but I'm an older brother, right? It's me and my brother and I have 2 very different personalities. I got spanked, but I wasn't spanked a lot because I was a good kid, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was the one, I was in my room reading books, whatever. My little brother would go, like, nuts. I hope you're not watching. My little brother would go nuts. He would get spanked like crazy. I still have this thought in my mind. Remember, like it was yesterday, he was getting whooped upstairs, like him screaming, and he came downstairs and looked at me like he was mad at me for not going upstairs and stopping his whooping, right? And I was like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? I'm the kid. But fast forward to today, I have a daughter, she's 7 years old, and she is just a good kid, right? She's a well behaved girl. So like I have spanked her, but I honestly can't remember the last time I did because I haven't had the need to. Yeah. But that goes to like every child is different. If I had another kid and the kid was going ape shit, you know what I'm saying? I'd be spanking the kid. Now if spanking didn't work, you know what I'm saying? I'd have to come back and redirect and kind of figure out, okay, if I'm whooping this kid every day and the same behaviors are continuing, then clearly whooping isn't working, and I need to figure out a different way to approach this, right? Yeah. But in terms of just having that quick go-to, you know, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, like if you can get that one spanking and put that fear of God in, and that's done. You know, like I said, I can't remember the last time I spanked my daughter. I know I have spanked her.
That last one must
Hopefully
have been pretty good. That last one was good.
the one that did it, and that was it.
But you gotta tie a kid to a tree sometimes. You just leave him. You gotta do different tactics. Leave them in the car.
Nah, we don't do that.
With the AC on, but for 2 days though. For 2 days.
Stand out in the middle of the street. I'm gonna start the car.
His views do not reflect the views of everybody else on the panel.
So how do you? Okay, so getting back to the idea of like friends, treating your kids as friends, but then also I think we're just kind of talking about the balance between the two of like disciplinarian, friend, but also parent, but not really friend too much. But how does that work when people are open about like drug and alcohol use when it comes to influencing your children and being honest about what you feel is okay as an adult versus what you do as a teenager especially?
Well, I think for me, everything has its season. What I do as an adult is not appropriate for him to do as a kid. Because, okay, matter of fact...
Even if you did it... I'm assuming you did it. You smoked weed.
Yeah, he was playing dice. He was smoking weed. He was doing all that.
I'm just assuming. I was a good kid,
but I did a lot of stuff.
I don't want to jump to conclusions or nothing.
I did a lot of stuff, but it wasn't like I had the freedom to do it. So nothing became like a habit.
Well, and I think the important thing to address, Grindstone, is to me, there's a difference between a healthy fear and an unhealthy fear. And
Definitely.
I think that we kind of touched on that in what we talked about. Like, for your children to be fearful to say anything to you or to do wrong in any way,
not cool.
That's unhealthy.
Yeah. No, that's not cool.
But the healthy fear of a parent to be like, okay, I don't want to disappoint mom, or I might smoke a little weed, but ain't no way my daddy's gonna find out about that. Right. Because there's a regard for your parent. Right. I think there's a fine line between healthy and unhealthy.
Okay, so look, the particular situation that somebody in our public needs help with, their son, who got all the passes when he was young, now he's 15, he wants to smoke weed all the time, right?
Well, it is legal.
Not for 15-year-olds.
It's still illegal.
Around him, it's everywhere.
But I mean, alcohol is legal too.
Right, so cigarettes.
And they drink.
Right.
Y'all drink.
You should make...
Right, but okay, so
can we all just agree that 15-year-olds smoking weed is not a positive thing?
I smoked weed when I was 15. Yeah. I smoked weed when I was 15.
Yeah,
but was it positive? Right.
It was like, I'm going to smoke on Friday.
Let me tell you, look.
You weren't smoking and studying.
This is what happens when you're a teenager and you're smoking and you're doing shit, when you're sneaking to do it. You are fucking with anybody.
Yeah.
Like, like the dude who would buy us alcohol, he was the nigga who was on
worst
acid
dude.
in front of in front of the liquor store. Whatever this nigga had in his bag and we'll pour up. All right, fuck it. I'll drink it. That's not okay. And when it comes to smoking, you don't know if you got a bad batch or if you got a good
or
batch.
if you got some boat in your batch.
Have you ever smoked boat?
One time.
And did not know when I was at a forum. When I was like, y'all gonna take me home.
Right.
And now you're sweting and it's...
It could be the end of
everything. It's horrible.
So like as a kid, like
a
going
training
out,
day moment.
Yeah, for real. Right. Go hit that. Right. Let's go that butt naked.
I know you like getting wet.
But the whole thing, you want your kid, you don't want your kid to really as an adult, I can say, like, look, now is not the time for you to be getting down like that because you have so many things open to you right now. And these few years are going to determine your next 6 or 7 years. Mm-hmm.
So you're not about practicing what you preach.
No, I practice.
No, I'm asking.
No, I'm preaching what I practice.
No, but not really.
Totally.
How?
Because
you didn't drink at all.
I did drink on the weekends at high school.
So you're not about practicing what you preach.
But in Grindstone's defense, when you were drinking in high school, was the drinking age 21?
I didn't ask anybody.
No,
What year was this? What year was this? Did you go to high school in Bermuda?
Damn, you
and
dated
the
him.
panel, do you guys believe in practicing what you preach?
I do.
When
Not really.
But I can't retro practice it.
I don't.
To a certain extent. To a
Because
certain
now you
extent.
exercise moderation, right? So that's what practicing what you preach. Because now he practices moderation. So if he's not going to say
Captain Save a Hoe. No.
what the who
That's
to me, save a who? What hoes am I
Throwing in
saving?
random
No, this
insults
what it
at
is.
this
No,
point.
look. All right, one of my real good friends, his dad. Let me see. He was like 15. He lost his virginity to the girl in the school with the fat ass who was always cutting class.
Yeah, the bad.
Well, he bought him he went to
That was
take him out.
necessary information.
Well, yeah,
She had a fat ass.
she was hot.
You need to know.
She was that. She was the
I
chick.
think it was important.
She was the
Definitely
one.
Yeah,
just
you
for
know.
visualization.
Yeah, right. It was a key detail.
Nah, she was always cutting school. She could not make the cheerleading squad, so she was
So
even
she was the
cooler.
one who was fucking before everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
He
that
hit.
girl. Wow, congrats to him.
His dad took him out for a fly dinner.
Yeah,
After he
Drink.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would too.
Wow.
All I wanted to do was pursue the ass after that. Like before that I did, but then
even though he already had it?
No. Well, yeah, I wanted her to. Late in high school, you be struggling, like whatever. You know, until you get a girl, until you get a high school sweetheart. But I'm saying, like, his action as a dad motivated me to, like, publicly be out there and go for mine. However, because I didn't have it like that in the household, I did not publicly go out. Like, I kept it low, and then I got a girlfriend and, you know, whatever. But I think if I had his circumstance, I
don't know that you answered my question.
all.
I think I need to ask a hypothetical question. So let's say your son, you said, and you guys have, you know, great relationship and everything, but you don't necessarily talk about sex, drugs, and alcohol, do you?
Occasionally, but it's not a regular topic.
No, but let's say he came to you and he was like, Dad, you know, there's this honey at my school, and you know we've been dating behind your back for a little bit.
Behind my back.
And whatever.
Honey?
I haven't told you.
It's a honey yet. I just, you know.
I like how she said,
It's a honey.
It's 96.
Shut up.
She's a fly.
It's a sweet thing.
Is she a fly short?
It's a brick house.
Can I get through my
Honey dip.
Anyways.
Okay.
he tells you about this girl that he's been dating and he didn't tell you anything about. And he's like, look, I know, you know, we haven't had that kind of relationship where I share stuff like that with you, but I'm actually thinking about having sex with her, and I don't want you to get upset with me, you know, and I did have a couple of drinks last time we were hanging out.
This is so clean.
This is a lot of stuff.
Hold
Right?
up, nigga. Hold.
Last time we were hanging out, I had a couple of drinks, and I was smoking a little weed.
Damn, everything? One night?
All in one conversation.
I mean, she had a syringe. I didn't want to get down.
I told her I don't do blow.
I don't do blow.
I do smoke weed.
I don't like getting wet.
Okay.
Hypothetical. He did a little bit. He didn't go all the way. Like, he wasn't all the way wasted or anything. So, and he's like, and now, you know, we're going to hang out again. And I don't want you to be upset with me, but I want to know, you know, what you think and how you feel about this, because it's going to be happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to.
So you're gonna hang out with the girl. All right. What's her parents' phone number?
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I don't have
Curveball.
All right.
What's
Well,
her IG? You can get that. Job.
But hold on, wait. But
Let's
if
go
you
through it.
called the parents and told the parents about this, wouldn't you be betraying your son's trust?
Yeah, you would be.
no. I want to call the parents.
The girl's parents.
Yeah, the girl's parents, to ask if it's okay if I could take those two to dinner.
Ah.
The son and his
Interesting.
girl.
My son and her.
So you can meet her low key.
And so he can have a weird conversation with them.
Right, because that's
No.
going to be...
What, at the dinner, I'm gonna
that's
let
gonna
them
be
be
pretty
them.
awkward.
Y'all want to go out, don't you? Okay. Well,
They're not going to be them with you there.
look,
My
what
parents said
I'm
that.
about to do is tighter than y'all little French fried cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Struggle wine.
But they're
date.
not going to be themselves with you, Dad.
Okay, then
in
we're
front of
taking it
them.
to another level.
Uh-huh.
And they're gonna have to.
You going to let them smoke?
No.
You let him drink?
Because that's...
I'm not gonna let them break the law.
Why?
Because breaking the law is a whole different level.
I'm playing
only
devil's
meant
advocate.
for parents. Breaking the law is only
No,
meant for
no,
parents.
no.
I'd
Breaking
agree
the
with
law.
that.
I'm saying it's.
We're not breaking the law though.
Right. That's what I'm
But
saying.
if they're gonna
it's a
smoke
consequence of
weed,
age.
if there's gonna smoke weed and they're gonna drink, I
over
want
21.
I want to show
Weed.
if my kid
You
says
never
he's gonna
broke the
smoke
law.
weed, I want to be like, fine, smoke it right now,
All right,
all of it.
No, look. Let me tell you what weed. Let me tell you. All right, look.
Because marijuana was always legal.
Wait, hold up. Look, this is what weed
Come
does.
on now,
Let's be
son.
honest. Wait, let's be honest. Weed is cool, but this is what weed does.
Okay.
It takes away
It
your.
doesn't have to be weed. I wasn't just
No,
talking
no,
about
Well,
but
let's
say
talk
weed.
about weed because tomorrow's 420. We're in
Tomorrow's
DC.
420.
We're gonna talk about
coming.
weed.
Weed takes away your drive. If you don't know if you haven't figured out your drive, weed will have you lazy as fuck.
Xbox.
And I don't need it. And I don't need a lazy ass high school son.
Nah.
Like he needs to be beasting. He needs to be up. I'm hitting the weight room in the morning. I'm doing.
High school is
I'm
the
about to
time when you
murder.
need to be execute the most.
Right.
Exactly. And high school is such a wonderful system in how you should run your life. You wake up early, you go do this, you turn in some shit, you eat lunch at a certain time. Like
Yeah.
high school is dope the way it's set up.
And then you go to sports, and then if you have extracurriculars,
Yeah,
you
I
do
feel like,
that.
don't fuck that up.
Think
So-
about how a mogul lives, like an adult mogul. It's the same as a high school student.
No, adult moguls smoke weed.
No,
They
what
do more.
I mean is the time, the allocation of time. Waking up early, having activities throughout the day, doing different
schedule.
on a schedule, doing different businesses, different
Perhaps.
meetings. It's if you can execute on the level of a high school student as an adult, then you're on your way to being a mogul. Real talk.
And I might even be like, look, nigga, you want to smoke some weed? I'm gonna fuck you up. I'll see you smoking some weed. But if you get straight A's, I'll give you the pack.
And on that note, we'll be right back after this short break on the AskCherado Show.
Yo, that's
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Black stuff. On my downtime, I defy the devil. I'm high off life than the real estate price. I'm a gorilla. They mice and writing my science. No opposable thumb, so don't get mad if I don't text back. I'm just kicking my feet up. In the thick of the scrum, I'm off a leader with rum. On social media, watch the chumps get beat up, but when they hear this shit, it's gonna rip the street up. It's a license plate rattler. Earbud blood drips. Fist in the black glove like John Carlos. Gun in the glove to rob a few Wells Fargo. So do a prison off the interest on your car, no. Black stuff. Bobby said about the right. Black stuff. Story. Black stuff. Black stuff.
Black stuff, not just the features. Black like heart-breathing preachers. Black like funk from your speakers. Black like names with Quantaniqua. Black stuff like country cousins, like Big Mama and lots of loving. Biscuits and cornbread out the oven. I never named Junebug up to something. Black stuff like I be like gritting on a nigga when it's time to fight. Keep your head above water when times are tight. Good times screaming dynamite from Dolomite to the Mac. Rent money folded in rubber band stacks. Real stuff being spit on the track. When you bring my stuff, man, I want my stuff black.
Black stuff. Black stuff. Some of the Chi-Town. Black stuff. Black stuff, boy. Black stuff. Yaddy daddy dada, all they do is talk. I speak street scripture straight from the sidewalk. I came in the game prepared to pitch. Fuck a balk, that's a bras move. You can have that lane. Bitch saw you. Damn like the brand new. I'm doing too much. Better believe it. Fools is out of touch, paraplegic. These balls are from the hard boy, pledge allegiance. Balls I'm one of them living prestigious. Shining like a rich nigga's bald head. I got Merc work for tracks called TED Talks when it's all done and said. If you come up with truth, you come up dead. Black stuff. Some of the Chi-Town. Black stuff. Black stuff, boy. Black stuff.
A lot of real G's doing time. Got tripped up by the blue line. Will justice come in due time? Don't need discovery to see true crime. Cops take the Kojak when they Barney fight. Wanna bet my life that the job done right? The whole city might burn down one night if a cop put a trigger on my child in sight. Hands up, don't shoot, don't work in gunfights. So we're organized with a bunch of Garveyites. I don't ask, I demand my civil rights. I demand my streets feel safe at night. Don't care who the grand jury indicts or the FBI or the police. This justice system is bought at a price 3/5 of a fuck for a black man's life.
Bubble Shotty and Mugabe all wrapped in one. Hottest equatorial air dipped in sun. This is hottest freestyle session of your day. Hotter than AC and OJ in the interstate. In a white Bronco, behold the pale horse. And the shit they shoveling. Hell of a sales force under this republic trying to get y'all to just buy in. Too many black parents are crying. Peace to Eric Gardner. Police to get the karma shout to black execs. Cut relief checks to all black farmers. Black stuff. Bobby Huddle, Bobby Brown. Black stuff. The big scale black stuff. Black stuff. QO way out. Black stuff. I'm where solar winds and interstellar matter meet. Where Mother Nature lays niggas at her feet. It's deep. Like triple stage audience of the room, or I'm out to shaking the closet door in your bedroom. It's black stuff. Boom. Bobby Soda, Bobby Brown, black stuff. Selma to Chi-Town, black stuff. Ron Brown to Brown Bag, Test to Tulsa. Reginald Lewis and Zulu Nation culture. All church, we're preaching again. Through amps and mics, we remain magnetic. Fuck the pole life, yeah, I said it. Black stuff. Bobby Soda, Bobby Brown, yeah. Black stuff. Selma to Chi-Town, black stuff. Black children, black stuff. No handlebars on the bikes. No seats. Hard time staying awake, no breakfast. Shout out to all them single moms. Make it. Black stuff. Take it. Our street. 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 Our street.
Why don't you go on without me? Studying's for suckers anyway. Hey. Where do you think you're going? Hey, man, Mike's studying. I don't want to bother him. Yeah, well, you get back in there and finish, man. But see, in this house, people study when they're supposed to. Good thing I'm not a member of this house. Well, you are this weekend. What's that supposed to mean? Well, you heard of the extended family? Well, this weekend you part of one, which gives me the right to extend this belt to your behind if I feel like it. Oh, I'd like to see that. Oh, you would, huh? Well, anything to oblige your guests, mister. Oh, man, you gotta be kidding. Come on in here. Oh, you must be crazy. I don't believe this. I'm gonna make a believer out of you. Huh? Hey, no, you know the boy got it. Come on, get your behind.
I hope your father doesn't go overboard.
Mama, you think Daddy really gonna give Eddie a spanking?
Is a bean green.
Can James Brown get down?
Is your head dead?
Like a 6.5 on the Richter scale.
Now, you know how your father is about studying. He means business.
Question is, which beating did he get?
Well, as we all know, Dad has 3 in his repertoire. The regular, the super, and the Big Mac.
The Big Mac is right. It can really warm your bun.
That make you feel good?
Didn't make me feel bad.
Nobody ever spiked me before. That's because we just met. Somebody should have a long time ago. I got news for you. I held back on you, mister.
That's holding back. I hate to be around when you let go.
Yeah, my own kids would have got a lot worse.
They would?
You know it. Well, one thing you know for sure, he didn't get the Big Mac.
Yeah.
Ooh. We're back on the AskCherado show. Ask her.
And she'll give you a whooping.
Or not.
Or no.
Is a bean green. So we're trying to figure out.
Good Times is great, man.
And Good Times showed you how the family unit works it worked.
Even in dire circumstances where you don't have a lot,
Yeah.
you stick together and you beat your kids.
Yeah.
It's like they never had a good time.
That was a real,
You know what I'm saying? Their whole life is
so
struggle.
You grew up in the era. I don't know. Like my brother and you are about the same age, and my brother. That's not a sneak diss. My brother and I have different moms, but he grew up in Detroit and then Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
But he would always tell me about how he would be outside and he would be doing something, and his mom's friend or neighbor might see him do something he wasn't supposed to do across the bridge, way downtown, whatever. And he would get back around the neighborhood, and before his mother came home from work, that friend or that neighbor, whoever, would snatch him up and be like, I saw your butt down the street doing X, Y, Z,
that's what you call
and
a
bring him home.
And
to
then he gets
mom,
another one.
And mom would be like, oh, you had somebody. Okay.
And you get that second whooping.
You get that second
right.
whooping.
Yeah.
That's community trust.
That's exactly. That's what you call it.
But
Community.
you don't have
That's
that now.
the
So, like, I
village
grew up-
raising
I don't
a
have
child.
community trust.
Wait, let's do this.
But back up though. That means that you was we've gone from should you spank your child to sort of condoning the fact that the whole community was spanking your child. You know what I'm saying? You had neighbors spanking your
Say
child.
the word community slowly.
Communist?
Community.
What?
Unity?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a word sound power word.
What
is you saying, nigga?
That sounds okay.
No, I'm saying like you bring
way.
no, it bring like come on unity. So
Wow,
like
I didn't even think about.
Okay.
yeah, like, they
She
talk
took
about
it to a whole
I was on her. I was on her side.
Bukkake.
Just
I wasn't
nasty.
even. I was on the African level.
Wait a
I was on like a BDSM level.
Yeah. That's where Courtney
Like-
stays. I mean, Urbanista. Urbanista.
But anyway, about the neighborhood, extended family. How about that? Like not community, but like no. You know, unification is about the disciplining, and it's also about the rewarding. So like in that same era of parenting, it would still be like, hey, we're about to go fishing. We're gonna bring you with us.
It was still the love
That's
with
great to go fishing, but
I'm saying it would
not
be
okay
like
with you beating my son, Grindstone. I'm not.
Well, that's
What?
you
What if
don't
your
live
son
in
was doing
community
some
anymore.
wild? Like if your son was doing something wild, I can get him by the like the.
You can hem him up, but
and-
you can't beat him.
Maybe not spanking. but I
Okay,
think
what about
that-
kick him in the knee
I
to
know
make
that
his
would
knee
be-
buckle, make his leg buckle?
No, but I think about a certain neighbor
that's
that
a
you
little
have,
worse.
that if your son was doing something crazy
You
and
could hem him up.
he yoked him up like.
I said he could hem him
Yeah.
up.
Okay.
No, but I mean, I don't even. When I was saying beating, maybe
Well, then,
that
yeah.
was just extreme. But I think that.
No, I don't think back in the day it was extreme, to be honest with you. I think back in the day, you could easily
You might get whipped in
grab
church.
somebody's
Yeah.
child and beat them. It would be completely okay.
And it was
From
also
all
okay to
accounts,
slap
that's
your,
what happened.
your wife
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
at that in that
From
same
all
era.
accounts,
You
that's
know?
what happened. My father used to tell me
Yeah.
stories. He do something, he come around, they beat
seen it
him.
out
He
there.
go down the street, they beat him. He come home, they beat him. And, you know, that's just the whole community thing. Hold on, pause for a second. I need to give a couple shout outs real quick.
Yeah,
Because people
yeah.
hitting me up. Shout
Yeah.
out to Monet, shout out to Zion, shout out to Bruce, shout out to Manny, shout out to Jaden, shout out everybody. All right, love y'all. Okay, here we go.
But also nowadays with social media and just kids knowing a lot, like there's a lot of like I dare you to hit me, like I dare you,
Who
because
says
I
that?
white children,
Yes.
some Spanish children.
Children are getting it today.
If your child ever says to you, "I dare you," or actually responds to
Yeah.
you when they know that you
gotta
might
go.
hit them,
You gotta go
Yeah.
right.
no. They obviously have never been in the realm of an ideal of the idea of discipline before.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
the fact that you would challenge me, I don't even care if you don't spank your kids.
Where's
but
Bunny?
People who do not actually ever put their kids in a place where they actually are being disciplined, that's their response. Like, what do you do? Like, how? Like, who? Like
Well-
the entitlement.
Well, check this out. Okay, so a friend of mine, I swear, like I found myself at the pinnacle of parenting. A couple miles that way, where like it's like, okay, how does he stay in line? No, just
Just a little bit north, just a little north.
So like, okay, so in order to stop their child from smoking weed, he was like, it's gonna make you dumb. Like now he playing these games, it's gonna make you dumb. Okay, he's like, okay, well I can stand to, so he says, I can stand to lose 10 IQ points.
The child said that?
The child said that, right? And then so, I mean, and that right there was a sentence I could stand, but that's like, fuck what you talking about. Like if you translate that into adult language, you know what I'm saying? So then he said, okay, it's against the law, you might get arrested. And he was like, I'm white. Do you really think they're gonna put me in the back of a police car?
Wow. Well, I mean, the statistics support
real,
that.
No, look,
Yeah.
That's real. And then he said, "Are you really gonna let me spend the night in jail?"
They should have taken him to the police
that
Right,
night.
That's real.
Or just
because my father would have let me spend more than a night in jail. You know
or
what
just
I'm
put
saying?
some boat in that. It'd be like, all right, you want smoke? Put some boat in that thing. Don't tell him.
But what,
never smoke
but see,
again.
What happened? They got
or he dies.
They were friendly,
You know,
or he becomes a boathead.
But what happens? They were friendly too
No harm
long,
done.
and now this dude has an opinion that he's down to stand on, and now it's tough parenting, and a lot of people
so
are going through that.
I have a controversial question to ask you, and then the panel really. So, would you rather your child diss you or come at you with the whole IQ point thing? 10 IQ. He has what? 10 IQ points that he
To spare.
You can
to
spare.
spare. Or would you rather your
I hope
child
you're not
coming
dumb.
home 16 and pregnant?
Whoa, why are those?
Yo, what? Come
Meaning,
on, yo.
No, they're extremes, but one side, it really isn't saying, they ain't really talking back to you, right? They're not. But
You're saying the pregnant one?
Which side is not
Oh, I
talking
see.
back?
The pregnant one.
When they come back with whatever situation they have, whether
Yeah.
they're pregnant, whether they're in jail, whatever. But the IQ side, who's coming out verbally,
You saying he's engaging?
he's engaging.
Well, he should get slapped in the face.
No. But what would you prefer as a parent?
I don't think they're opposites though.
I would rather my daughter smoke weed than get pregnant.
No,
Well, obviously.
That's it. I mean,
Obviously.
if I gotta choose, if I could, those are the only, those were not the choices.
No.
Oh, really? You said you said
I
you
did
said
say
the IQ points
I
or
see how
16
you
and
saw.
pregnant, right?
Okay.
Did I misunderstand the question?
No. I see how you put that together. So yes, perhaps, yeah. So would
No,
you?
but he might be like, I could stand to lose 10
But I
IQ
was
points.
talking more about you. Would you rather your child talk back to you or not talk at all and come to
And
you
just
with
do
a
them,
particular
yeah.
situation?
For
Or
me,
keep
I
secrets.
feel differently. I feel like give me I can lose minus 10 IQ points and then I have a baby on your ass. Then what?
No, but that's
See,
not the
that's-
option. That's not what I'm asking.
That's double
I'm
jeopardy.
saying-
You got screwed.
I mean, that's my
both
life.
times.
So
you're saying they're engaging.
I'm saying that
That's
they're
rough.
engaging.
I was
on a
18,
certain,
but they still
they're
saying.
engaging on a certain level, so that you're at least having a dialogue with them, a level of communication, whether it's disrespectful or not. Of course, it's disrespectful, but there are children out there that are not engaging on any level, and they're going out and they're doing certain things, and they're coming back with consequences that you can't engage with at that point.
Well, I guess the thing to measure would be how many people got to do what the fuck they wanted to do, and how many people didn't, and who went to jail and got pregnant or killed, and who didn't.
Do we have those statistics?
No, we
tonight?
don't. So I'm
Pretty
saying,
sure.
like, I don't know if the person who's rebelliously
gotta-
engaging, because of that
60
rebellious engagement, comes off better.
I don't think
I
this is
see.
a better or worse thing. I'm just saying
It's just really specific
The point that I
hypotheticals.
was trying to bring up is the engagement factor that you touched on. Like, I rather my child push me in a way for us to have dialogue than my child not engage with me on that level and go behind my back and do some stuff and come back and me not.
But what
be
about your
able
child
to do
complying
anything.
with your rules?
I know.
Yeah, even
I
if your child-
absolutely agree with that. But that's not what I'm measuring right now.
Okay.
What
So-
I'm measuring
It's
is
a little high, isn't it?
the IQ statement and the going and not engaging
And
and,
saying, "All right,
coming back
I don't-"
and with something that I have absolutely no control over at that point. I can engage with you on the IQ level. I can slap you. I can do a whole lot of shit with that.
Yeah, you can.
But I can't.
But why is the assumption of being 16 and pregnant mean that you didn't have an engagement?
No, there's no assumption in that. This is a hypothetical, and I pose two situations.
These are the
Not-
options that you
I'd
bring
rather
up.
engage.
Right.
You'd rather have your-
I think that
conversation cheaper
the obvious answer would be like I would rather you engage with me even if it's disrespectfully. I'm a yoke you for being disrespectful.
Word up.
But at least we are talking and having a conversation about whatever topic this is. Like you said, if you go and get pregnant and then come back and daddy, I'm pregnant. We past conversation.
doesn't
We
have
can't
to be
even.
pregnant.
Yeah.
It could be
they
jail.
got a crackhead.
It-
You just a
right, so
crackhead.
you go to jail.
Whatever.
Whatever situation has
Whoa.
already happened that we can't change anymore, we can't even discuss it
Yeah,
anymore.
we can't
Then
do anything about
I would much rather discuss it, even if it's got to be disrespectful in the discussion.
Yeah.
I would much rather discuss it than have you make the decision, and now we can't discuss it and get
And
away
that's
from it.
my
Now we got to
question.
deal with
All
the
right, so-
consequences of it.
Okay. And right now we're trying to save a particular family.
Yeah.
Even though y'all don't know this is what we're doing.
Stop looking at yourself.
So look. No, so
Hey,
look.
look good.
I recommended. I was
Feel like a superhero.
you should take his door off his bedroom.
Ooh.
I like that. I love that type of thug tactics
Right.
right there.
Yeah. Oh, you gonna jerk off? Everybody gonna know.
That's a thug tactic.
But I'm saying
life.
because he's talking about I don't want to participate in any school activities, no sports, nothing like that. I just kind of want to kick it with my old lady and smoke some weed. Dad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, nigga, you can't have a door on your thing. Like all this little privacy.
Yes.
The only reason he felt this way is because he was given like an apartment in his own house.
You don't get a box spring. Your mattress is on
you
the
don't get
floor
all that.
Yeah.
with a blanket, no comforter.
Yeah, you gonna have to.
And
start
you gotta
working some
smoke
of that
Reggie.
back.
You can't smoke any good tree. You gotta smoke all Reggie.
At first I was going to tell him like, all right, buy the peanut butter, but not the jelly.
Yeah.
Like like on the Chris Tucker, like buy the Kool-Aid without the sugar. Right.
Cereal,
But then-
no milk.
Yeah, right. But like
Thug life.
you kind of gotta find like where
This is not thug life. Why are we saying this?
You have to find where,
She's
no,
a
but I'm
meme
saying you have to
person.
find where
There are real thugs
your
out there that are
leverage-
laughing at us right now. It's need for y'all to know that.
But you got to find where your leverage. You got to find where your leverage is. You know what I'm saying? And the leverage lies in whatever that particular kid is.
Well, the
coveting.
leverage lies in the kid has nothing. It's a child with no ability to support himself.
Exactly.
He's got nothing.
And he coveting his privacy.
Sandwiches,
So take that away. Right? Yeah.
milk, all that shit is yours.
Yeah.
He has
That's
nothing.
actually not
Can I just say
that.
this
don't
man
think
got
they
real
need to lose
serious?
kids down. Like sandwiches and milk was a big deal in our earlier generation.
It would be like social media today.
Social media,
Your
like my
phone.
kids. Okay, so like my older kids, my 15, 13, they have no phones. They have no like social media. I mean, they probably do on a low, but I don't have anything. They don't have
Like a little trap phone that they keep in the
smartphones.
closet.
Right.
No phones, but they have like Kindles. So
Okay.
but I think that
Watch out for that Kick app. They got Kick.
I don't fuck with Kick at all. That's probably like
What's
the
Kick?
main
You
reason
don't.
What is Kick?
why-
You need to make
Kick
sure
is
they
where you
don't.
communicate.
Oh, I
You're
get
in
on
the
Kick.
service.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
completely
that's
anonymous.
What?
That's a
Yeah,
whole
so
other,
kids
that's
get
a
on
whole
their
other show.
Wi-Fi?
Parents with Kick.
That's
It's
a whole
on-
other show about Kick. But I think in general, like, the monitoring of what your kids are doing, in addition to like we're talking about being friends with your kids, like certain things I think certain people feel okay with. I personally feel okay with them having social media if I am
monitoring it.
If you're friends with them on
Yeah.
whatever it is.
But
You know what?
if they know what joint you got, they got another one.
They got another one that you don't know
they
about.
do that on a low.
One thing that I think one trend that I saw that was great a couple years ago, I think it still happens occasionally, is when parents air out their kids on social media. Like you seen when the,
I don't like that though.
when a kid is doing
I don't even like
when a kid
the
is
idea
doing
of
something
that in
crazy.
person.
When a kid's doing something crazy and the parents like, tell him you're not a thug. Tell him you ain't a
I
thug.
think that to me, honestly, I don't like it. But if that was all I
It
had
works.
left, if that was all I had left, I would do it. Like if I've gone through every means, every tactic that I could have done, and this kid is still wilding out, and this is my last ideal. Like I would do it as a last resort, but I don't like. I would definitely not put that as like a first, second, third,
But
or even
that
sixth
it's like a beating sort of thing. You're beating them publicly now.
But then what about when they heal?
But it gets reposted.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing about that. That's the thing about that. That's the thing. If you go to the school and you beat your kid in front of the class,
Yeah.
right? You're gonna be humiliated, but that day's gonna end. Right, and eventually you're gonna live on, and in the next school year, somebody may bring up randomly. Remember when you got beat in front of the school? But it's a memory.
Yeah.
You do that and put it on social media.
They can relive it all the
somebody
time.
has to do is go to their phone and bring it up, and they have to relive it over and over and over again. That's psychological.
I mean, exactly. So it's the greatest form of punishment. If you think about it, it's worse than getting a beating. Like if your kid is doing something
10,000
crazy,
times worse than
crazy,
Well,
as a last resort.
You're gonna make them do shit like
I can break a PlayStation
wash
in private.
cars.
I'm gonna live a
I don't want to
With
be
a
reminded
toothbrush.
about some really grimy stuff I did 10 years ago.
Let me tell you something.
know what
Let me
I'm
tell you
saying? I
something.
might have
My
done
mother-
some grimy 10 years ago. I don't want to be reminded of that today. I feel like I've moved on from that.
My mother, when my sister was acting up and she was lying and going to some parties, showed up at the party.
Yes.
Now, hold on. She could have put on some jeans. She could have put on a dress, but no.
You had a house coat?
Nightgown with a jacket.
Where's my baby?
Has anyone seen Nadia Murray? Has anyone seen her?
Wow.
Her mother is looking at a party.
That's tight though.
Shut it down.
And
slippers.
but with the hard bottom.
The hard bottom slippers.
The hard bottom.
The ghetto slippers. The ones
But I mean,
you can wear through anywhere.
You're gone too far now.
You got
look,
too
let me tell you,
far.
No, my nephew, like, okay, he was jumping out the window, like sneaking around, trying to get to the party and everything, right? Now
glad he landed safely.
like, he's cool, right? He's hella cool. He's cool, but he's a sucker, right? When it goes down, no, I ain't with that. So like in Oakland, it's a little unpolished, like, you know, so some shit goes down, niggas shoot.
Yeah,
you know,
guns are available.
Yeah, so like he was in the house,
in my bus.
so like he snuck out, like, you know, he's all like, man, I got it, you know, and he swear he got it popping.
Yeah,
right. So he's in a party, a house party that he was not supposed to be at. They start shooting. The dude next to him gets shot.
Oh my God!
Right.
He didn't run.
And now he got blood on his shirt.
Right. Oh no, he's calling mom.
Right, because that's a come to Jesus moment right there.
Get me from the party that I was not supposed
That's
to be.
That's a Jesus save me
so
moment right
so
there.
Like it's dope when
I would want my son to call me too.
Yeah, but see, I think like the preventative measure is mom coming in the party being like, you know, hey, here I am
in a nightgown.
Come on,
it's got to be a nightgown.
Like I think
so you rather your mom come in there with the nightgown on than the child call their parent.
No. The child called in crisis, but the mom showing up was a preventative measure.
Absolutely.
You know what though? I think it's really interesting you said that, but I think it depends on what the parent has as a filter. Because I think about my own situation, drugs was always like, if you ever go somewhere and you're messed up and you need somebody to come get you, call us, but don't have sex. So like for me, in general, don't have
real.
sex. But I remember I remember going like I was kind of mentioning
drink and
I
do
mentioned
drugs,
but don't have
those
sex.
come together, sex, drugs.
I remember I mentioned earlier briefly how like
Drinking
when
and
I was in
drugs
11th
were
grade, I went to a formal. I had already smoked weed a handful of times before that.
Okay.
Whatever we smoked that night, I was at a winter formal. I was fine. I was like, this isn't even doing anything to me. Went to the party.
Yeah.
Went to Denny's after the party. And when I sat down, I thought that there were satellites and things coming. And I was like, oh my God, this is so bad. I said, this is not cool. And I remember my mother always telling me, like, if you ever go somewhere, you drinking, you're smoking. No, not about, that's not related. But it was like, if you ever need me, in that moment, just call me. I'll come get you. And she grew up in an era where, you know, drugs, sex, rock and roll.
Right, it was free. Yeah.
It's like if you ever feel like that, call me. I'll come get you. No questions or nothing. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, I sat there. It's like, if you all don't take me home right now, I'm gonna call my mom and she's gonna come get me. And I felt very confident about that. But when it came to sex, it was just don't do it.
That's unrealistic.
So
and
like
that's the
when I
first thing you
started
don't
having
do.
sex, it was like, okay, like, or things that sexually were going on, like, I can't talk to anybody about this because this is wrong. But it's okay if I wanted to.
But it's
that's
natural.
So interesting that and that's a good point. Like what we're told not to do are the things that we end up
that we want to do
technically. Because actually, my mom never told me that. She was never like, "Don't have sex, don't do this," and I was a complete prude. I didn't have sex until I was what.
Like last week. Was it like last week you said?
No, I was like a grown person when I had sex.
I mean,
but my mom never said to me, "Don't have sex." Like,
I guess she didn't have to.
No, but she talked to me about it. You know, I shared my feelings about it. She never said, "Don't drink, don't smoke, don't do whatever."
And you didn't do that either, really.
I didn't drink until I was 21.
But she communicated with you about those things, right?
But she never said no.
That's what I'm saying. Like with the buddy I was talking about, his parents talked to him about these things, and he had they weren't taboo in his house. So it wasn't like as soon as I get away from my parents, I got to wild out and drink. He was like, you know, he drank like an adult when we were 17.
My shit was taboo.
And I'll tell you this: my father talked to me about sex, and he said like this. He said, "Kevin," and he's Jamaican. "Kevin, there will be women that will want to have sex with you. Be careful. Don't let them take advantage of you." And I was like, "Where are they at? Where are they? Because I'm ready right now. Show me where they are."
Tired of the lotion.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. I couldn't.
Yeah,
I
can we not?
I didn't even masturbate until I was 17.
Whoa.
Dang, what?
I tried and I tried and I tried. The method I was using, I had the film on, and
well, in Caribbean culture, though,
more power to
Caribbean
you.
culture
What
looks
down on masturbation? Well, maybe it was.
Absolutely.
Maybe it was inherited that I looked down on it,
at
but
11.
Damn, I tried. That's when I started trying.
Latchkey.
Nobody home. VHS tape. VHS.
Oh no, beta.
I was off the magazine.
Okay, and the laser disc.
Beta was easy to remind. You had to reset the timer. All that.
But now you know.
Tell him about my dad.
Okay, wait. What is the effective way? Okay, because like my mom did not talk to me about stuff, so like I was like really fooling with my cousins and friends to get information.
I think there's a fine line. I really
Because like my
do.
mom would kick me out. Like she would like take me to my grandma's house when she would get down. And now when I look at her party pictures, she was kicking it.
Yeah,
gone.
Mary
Which
was at my mom's house.
Oh, so you know what was going on,
right? Yeah.
Which essentially isn't really that different than you, right?
Nah, but see, I let my
you and your son.
Touche.
Yeah, no, but I do not expose my son to smoking.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But you weren't there.
She.
Right.
It's essentially the same.
Nah, because she didn't even talk. We didn't have discussions about stuff. Let me tell you, after she knew that I was downstairs banging my girlfriend, she was like,
But don't you think that's a difference in the relationship between a mother and a son than a father and a son? Like if that was your father, and I don't know your, I didn't know your father.
I mean, he might be like, yes, player.
Like I feel like that conversation between a mother and a son is different. Just like the conversation between a father and a daughter versus a father and a son.
listen, I got my dick sucked the first time in a crack house.
Okay. All right. Whoa.
Yeah. I needed to know that. I needed to know that.
Are you okay?
Mothers need to talk to
last
sons.
time you went to
Yeah.
the clinic
All right.
was when?
Right, yeah, for real.
I mean, my mother found.
No, you good though.
That's
No judgment.
Crack was not out of the
crack
70s.
That was like 80.
That was like 91, son. It was
Hey,
like
when you was in
91.
high school, you get
How much?
candy.
How much you pay for that
First
joint?
broke, so
I
he's
didn't.
probably
My
You ain't
cousin
paying?
paid.
Yeah, he got it for the Lolo.
Hold on.
Way before,
Let me.
was it like
I
an eight ball
feel
or-
like. I feel like.
So what you worth? Were you worth like an 8 ball or like what? Like what?
My cousin handled it, but that like.
Hold on. I feel like I got to introduce y'all to Marilyn and Weldon Thomas
got
at
the
this
juice
point.
now.
Right? He's my parent. Marilyn and Weldon Thomas. Weldon Thomas was a pastor, okay? Marilyn Thomas, of course, pastor's wife, right? I'm their son. Marilyn Thomas tell us straight up, look, before you have sex, you go upstairs, you jerk off, you masturbate. This is me, all my friends in the room. Never forget it, okay? Never forget it, okay? It's okay to masturbate. You go upstairs, you masturbate. I was like, Mom, don't ever say that again. Next time she came, it happened again. My father was just like, whatever. But I'm going to tell you, my house was a spot where all my friends came to drink. We smoked
And your
weed.
parents knew
We
it?
smoked weed in the back. We would get lit at we couldn't do it at any of my other friends' house. We would get lit at my house. And I asked my parents after I grown up, I graduated college and everything. I was like, Mom and Dad, you guys had to know. You know what I'm saying? That we were getting messed up in the basement.
Well, you
y'all
had that
had to
conversation?
know. And they told me straight up. They said, we're not stupid. We knew what you guys were doing. A lot of times we could smell the weed in the bedroom when y'all was smoking it. But we would much rather that you be here.
Yeah.
That you be here doing it where we know that you safe.
Instead of
than
a
for
crack
you to be
house or
out
something.
somewhere doing it and you get right in a crack house, right? And you get out, you get shot, you get something else, and we have no control over that. If we can know, like we can't necessarily stop you from doing what you're doing, but if we can at least know that you're safe while you're doing it,
that's realistic
it is what it is.
and
Right.
intelligent.
And I appreciated that because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I never
still
had
never-
any addictions to any of
I
those.
would still
things.
never tell my mom what went on in her house.
But that's sexual stuff we're talking about.
Right, yeah,
It's
that's
different.
stuff. Yeah, I got stories about that.
I think
too.
it's important.
I know
I think
my
it's
father heard me one time. I know he did. We never brought it up. I know he heard it.
But I think it's important what you're saying. Like if you know your kids are trying to do something, right? Smoke, drink. We're not talking about sex. Even sex. To try to act like they shouldn't or that you can stop them.
You gonna sit back and roll
is
up with your son?
crazy. No,
That's
I
a
don't
bit
think
much.
that's
I think that's taking it a
appropriate.
little
I think it's
far.
taking it too far. But having a conversation and an open line of communication, because I mean, you can say like, I don't approve of this. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna do it, here are some things that I've learned in my past. Like, don't just smoke anything anyone gives you. I mean, my parents, that's what they said to me. My family's Jamaican. They look down upon cannabis, for real. Like, regular Jamaicans look down upon it. Like, Rastas, that's a different thing. But when they found out I was smoking, they would be like, they were against it. But then they'd be like, if you're gonna do it,
So I have a 15-year-old daughter.
It's a daughter, so it's different.
No, it's not.
Well, because different than a son is what I mean.
I mean, no. For you as a man, that's where the double standard lies, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want my son having sex any more than I want my daughter having sex. Like, I don't see a difference in that.
You don't want your son having sex.
Of course I don't.
How old is he?
13.
What age do you think is appropriate for your son to have sex?
That's a different topic.
My daughter's appropriate to have sex, but
What age is that? What age is that?
In my mind,
Primate?
I
Marriage.
would like for them to be out of high school, and I don't think that's
not
realistic.
Right.
It just depends.
I mean,
I
it
don't
might
know,
be.
but
It's possible.
At the end of the day, look, I have no
They could be
control
super
when
Christians.
my daughter's going to have sex and when she's not going to have sex, or my son when he has sex and when he's not going to have
So
sex.
how do you talk to him about it?
But I talk to my daughter the same way that I try to tell her more than what my parents told me, and I also try to get her to learn from my experience. Like, I had my first child when I was 18, and that was her. So I'm like, listen, and I think that in a way, ironically, because I had kids so young, she's learned a lot that I don't have to tell her as much as someone who came from the background that I came from, where it was just like, oh, well, this is the life you're living, and this is what you're supposed to do, and blah, blah, blah. But in the conversations I have with her, like, even though I've known she's been interested in boys and has hung out with boys in situations that I didn't necessarily approve of, it's like, okay, well, you understand what, like, condoms? Yes, Mom, I know condoms. Yes, I know about all those things. I've shown her things and taught her things and had conversations with her that I won't put on the radio show, that I feel as though she knows.
You ain't hollering. You ain't in her ear though.
You don't know what I just said. I'm not going to put it on the radio.
Oh, you
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, she showed it. Right. Yeah.
She knows, but it doesn't make it less awkward, right? So, like, when we have, because I do refreshers all the time. Like, you might be listening to a song. Nicki Minaj, like, yeah, Nicki. I'm like, if you do that, you gotta do.
You might
know
have
what that
this.
means. Nicki got creative ways of saying stuff that's really unacceptable.
You gotta be protected.
Might have a reputation.
As much as like I'm a young mom,
Might get blue
so
waffle.
like. We might listen to certain songs. I might be like, and now she's getting older. Catch ourselves like vibing the same joint. Like, oh, this is my song. That's when I listen to the words. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Just my ass and my anus.
To do that to you,
We're
man.
not supposed to be doing
Parenthood
this
to do that to you.
Like,
Yeah, it's a
she's
trip.
15,
But
I'm
them
like
beats
only
though,
33.
them beats is hot.
But then I'll be like, hold on, wait, but you know, like that part where she was saying that, that you gotta like actually use protection, right? You gotta.
That provides a great
can't play
opportunity
with those games. But when she was really young, I'm sorry, I'm gonna move on, but when she was younger, when she was like 5, 6, 7, I was in college, and so like I would like put on BET, 106 and Park. And so she was like, yeah, I like this. I like this. I'm like, oh, you like this? Okay, let's sit down. Let's watch 106 and Park. So how do you feel about these young women over here shake it fast? Well, watch yourself.
Oh yeah, that was a hit then.
Throwback.
Do you think
That's before Mystical went to jail.
Does mommy carry herself that way? Well, how do you feel about watching? Like, so it was an engagement, because my parents always told me I couldn't watch videos. I couldn't talk about sex. I couldn't engage in those.
So like,
we didn't have cable.
okay, I think like now, liking the same, being able to talk about the same music.
It's helpful.
With my son,
No.
Man, it's a parental aid. Like like I'll be like, okay, he's going over to. He probably ain't really doing that.
Yeah.
And if he is, like, it's consequences with that. And if it is, it's rewards to this and, whatever. And then, like, okay, take Rick Ross, for instance, right? So everybody likes Rick Ross.
He's
Not
Rick
really.
Ross.
Not really.
I'm saying when Rick Ross shit come on,
Not
Yeah.
really.
if you're a human, that shit
He gotta have a feature on it.
that shit go.
By himself.
I mean, some of the joints they really go. You ever heard the record Box Chevy?
Give me an example.
That's one of the best songs I've ever heard.
Man, that joint he has with Drake from like 3 albums back.
Right, so
He's
I'm
good.
saying to say that Rick Ross is a flashy, stereotypical bad influence.
Absolutely.
Let's call it for what it is.
Right. However, I will be able to bring Rick Ross out of that, and I'll be like, okay, Rick Ross owns this, and this.
Yeah.
Like, he got a franchise over here. Like, he's in control of his publishing. Like, this artist right here is under him. Like, like he does that.
He's getting credit.
So like while that talk is about that,
That's not what he does.
Yeah, like he's living in that big house because
He's playing a
does
character
that.
now.
You know, so
Yeah.
like so it really
He's rapping about what sales, but that's a whole other topic, y'all.
But it really the whole scope, because I mean, and I encourage all parents to do this. All parents, when your son or daughter is sitting around and they have their headphones and they're being antisocial and weird as a teenager and they don't want to talk to nobody, ask them to plug their playlist in so y'all can listen to it together.
Yeah.
And my son put me on to some dope rappers with that. I was like, okay, where happy we go? Like, but it opened up a whole new, like, it was just a whole new world for me to see that we could relate like that.
Interesting, because like on the flip side, for me, like every morning when we wake up, we got somebody else rocking. Like, and they're like, who is that? Oh, wait, I ain't heard this Lauryn Hill track. I didn't.
Right.
Who is this? Oh, Esperanza Spalding. Oh, John Coltrane.
Right, so for me to listen to his makes it cool for him to listen to mine.
Exactly.
And then that's like conversation piece.
So I got the opposite problem, sort of like on a lower level, because of course my daughter's 7, but I love hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So like we'll be in the car, and I never told my wife this. I'm sorry, babe, you probably listening. I wanted Zion to love hip hop. So, you know, rocking in the car, you know, we putting on songs, and I don't always have the edited version to every single song, right? So we had to get to the point where it was like, all right, this word, you heard this word, but that's not appropriate for you to say.
I do the same thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's not appropriate for you to. You might have heard it, right? But that's for adults to say, right? And then we get to the point where I can maybe find the edited versions of songs and play the edited versions of songs.
Filter.
Right. But the fact that she knows who Kendrick Lamar is, you know what I'm saying, and can say verses from the Untitled joint, I love that about my daughter.
That's
you know
amazing.
what I'm saying? I love her
Is
to
there a
death for that.
Wu-Tang album that you can play with your daughter around, or a Nas album that you can play with your daughter around?
I can find the edited version on Apple Music and play that one.
But even with the inference of their language, like even if he doesn't say I killed that nigga, he might say I shot with the badass gat and that. Like the meaning of that.
This actually, we've had this conversation before because you feel very strongly about that. Because you'll say to me, "You let your son listen to that?"
Okay, because this.
No, but
Shake them titties, baby. Shake them titties.
Mommy's from Miami. Mommy's from Miami.
But there's a level of respect that's built, right?
But
and I pick and choose songs.
Yeah,
I do. I pick and choose songs. I mean, there's a certain level of hip hop that I can't mess with anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like some of it in my mind right now is just stupid. Like I can't.
Hold on. I want you to remember that.
Okay.
I want you to remember that.
All right.
And we'll be right back. After this message, I want us to hold on to all of the things that we've been holding on to and flush them out.
Chicken wings and pinky rings, nigga.
That's what you're talking about.
That shit is hard.
Johnny Bobby on the track. D-Dot. The place. Yeah.
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
and you say to your group of friends, I'm introducing a new friend coming out with us tonight. My kid's joining us. It ain't gonna work.
So lots of parents struggle with this question, especially as their kids get older. But is it ever appropriate to be friends with your kids?
Friendly, maybe, but certainly not friends.
Never?
A parent is a parent. I tell my kids all the time, I will forever be your parent.
What does that
Parent
mean?
first. That I have a responsibility in terms of their livelihood, their role, my values, and I will always be their parent first. That ultimately over the course of time, as you get older and our relationship evolves, will change, but I'm forever going to be your parent.
What's the difference between a parent and a friend?
A parent is someone who, I have kids 23 and 26, and you want to be close to your kids. You want to love them, you want to be available to them, you want to have a relationship with them, you want them to feel free to come and talk to you about certain issues and so forth. And you have an open relationship with them, but it's still different than a friendship. I mean, I say to people, do you have a good friendship with your spouse? Can you really talk with your spouse? Can you really be close to them? Can you talk on that age-appropriate level? Do you have age-appropriate friends? If you have age-appropriate friends that you go out with and you share and you talk with, and you say to your group of friends, I'm introducing a new friend coming out with us tonight. My kid's joining us. It ain't gonna work. You know, you're a parent, so the parent, it's a boundaries. It's a different way of being loving, but you can be loving to a friend very different than loving to as a parent.
What can't you do with your kids?
Well, part of it is, and just following along with some of this, is that the difference between friends and parents is friends, you're equal. You're on the same level. And you're never on the same level if you're a parent. We can have neighborhood parties and the kids can be there and that's all part of the thing. But my interaction needs to be with the adults. My confidences need to be with the adults, not with my kids. Because one, that actually puts burdens on them that they don't want to have. They don't want to know about what mom and dad's life in the bedroom is like. Really, they don't want to know. In fact, they don't even want to know that there is such a thing. Yeah, that's what my kids say. Oh, thanks, mom, for the visual. It's like, oh. And there are certain things that they'll talk about with their friends and be with their friends that you just don't belong as.
My kids went to and graduated from Rutgers, so I have season football tickets to go down to football games. And it was really cool that they felt dad could join them at a tailgating party with their friends. And I would go and I would hang out, and the kids liked me and I liked them. I'd be there for a while. I wouldn't go at 9 in the morning and get smashed for the whole day, but I'd be there and I'd be hanging out and we'd be together and we were really close. I'm really close with my two daughters. So there's a line of love and play and things that you can have with your kids, but you always know that you're the parent.
But I also think that being friends makes it harder to parent, because again, it's that hierarchy. If I'm your friend and we're hanging out and then suddenly I have to tell you, no, you can't do that, it's going to be really hard for both people. One, it's going to be hard for me as the parent to actually say, no, you can't do that. And it's really going to be hard for you as the child who's just been palling around with me to now all of a sudden see me as an authority figure.
It's our job to teach them values. And that's not what a friend does. We are still there to guide and to lead and to show and to shape. That's not a friendship. That's different.
So the risk to kids if you are their friend?
Just my son, and I know the fact he doesn't want me to be his friend, is he jokes with me, talk about swag. My son walks around the house, he's 15, he's got swag. I'm like, I have swag too, and he's like, no, Dad.
No, you don't have
no swag. You just don't have it. And so it's clear to him that I'm not his friend, and that he wants me to be something else in terms of being. Now, he doesn't like it when I'm his parent, he does something wrong, and there's consequences, or as my daughter, but ultimately, we talk about how valuable, how wonderful he is, and ultimately maybe at some point in life we work together, but I'm parent first, and that's the most important thing.
So that sounds like the brass tacks in this question is it's not okay to be friends with your kids, and in the event that you're in a friendly relationship with your kid, you should probably see one of these guys.
We're back on the AskCherado show, talking about
being friends with the kids and kids being friends with the adults. Now, when I would be at events with my uncles and dad and stuff, they would be smoking weed in one room, and we couldn't go in that room.
You couldn't smell it either?
Of course you could smell it, but that was like the division. No, this is the adults' room, and we don't smoke cigarettes. You better not smoke cigarettes. And that was like, we're strict, But, yeah, like there was a division still. Like, it wasn't like, it wasn't like we would blend in the same event, but then there was still
there's a kids area, and then there's the adult area, and those things shouldn't be violated.
Now, like in that video that we just saw, they were talking about
shit.
Well, they were talking about that line, and so amongst many single moms, we were talking about, when the mom puts the son as her king, and like,
oh yeah, that's a thing.
That's
now.
problematic.
Like, hold up, nigga, you a prince
at best.
If I'm a queen. You a prince. Like
king what exactly though?
Like he ain't the king yet.
You heir to the throne. You're not
so
the
like,
controller.
Just gassing him up to think that he's like.
So example of that would be like, yes, my son is my king, taking pictures with him. Like he's the king of the household. All these other things, like he's that type of thing. And for me personally, I'm single. I have a son who's 13, and I'm always like, you're a great prince, and you might be a wonderful duke, depending on your behavior. But you will never be the king of the household until you establish your own household. Then that's where you'll be the king.
Right.
But I don't care if I'm 45 and he's just staying with me on the weekends or whatever, trying to save somebody to buy a house. He'll never be the king. I'm always going to be the queen. Like, I would never sit here and put him in that position. And I think that
because that's incest.
No, that's real. That's real. I've seen a lot of single mothers. I've seen a lot of single mothers put their sons in the position to be men of the house. Young kids, 7, 8, 9, 10, put their sons in that position like that's where they're supposed to be. And I'm telling you, psychologically, man, that will mess a young boy up.
And
that will mess a young boy
like,
up.
How does that put you in a position to be open to a relationship?
Yeah.
So now he thinks he's the king, and he is, coming into manhood, tall enough, maybe, feels like we were talking about grindstone, like in the weight room, like, ooh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then you try to date or establish a relationship with someone, but he already thinks he's the king.
Yeah, you can run off all your dates.
The Drake syndrome.
So wait, I can understand. Is there a difference between the king, or teaching your son to be the king, and teaching him to be the man of the house?
I think that most people equate the king. So I want my son to be a king in his life. Like, he knows that he is in charge of his life, and like he is the one he runs shit in his mind for where he is, but not in my household.
Right.
There's a difference between the two.
Well, no, that's not my question. Is there a difference between being a king and being the man of the house when your son is the only man in the house?
Yes.
That's my question.
It's a difference.
What is the
when he's the only man in the house, he's the janitor.
He's the oldest. He's the oldest. He's the oldest in the house as far as like being a role model to his brother, but he is not the man of the house, in my opinion. Like,
is he protecting and providing?
He might be protecting.
So
he might be providing.
I mean, he's 13. You got a pistol?
There's a general idea that a nuclear family has a mother, a father, and a kids, right? So if there's just a mother but no father, then the default is going to be there's a mother and there's kids. But when the mother starts to take the son and start to slowly move him more in the position of being a father than the kid. You know what I'm saying? Start to move him more of a position of being a man, man than the kid. Right. So then you start to base everything. You essentially start to treat your son like your husband without the sex.
And it creates an unhealthy relationship.
That right there is problematic because the young boy needs the opportunity to mature as a young boy.
I agree. I think there's a fine line there, right? Because at the end of the day, he is technically still the man in the house, and because
he a man in the house, not the man of the house.
But listen to what I have to say. Because he's of the male gender in the household, he is taking on certain responsibilities of the household, whatever that may be. Whether he's taking out the garbage, whether he's mowing the lawn, how do you differentiate what is a boy experience versus a man experience versus whatever it is he's doing in that moment. Because if a woman, as a mother, is not teaching him to do those manly like things, like, I feel like there's a fine line for those mothers out there that have to deal with those situations. And as men, you should speak on it and define that line, because it's a slippery slope. How do you teach your son how to be a man, but he's not the man of the house? He's the boy of the house, but you can't show him certain things, or he shouldn't be doing certain things.
You can teach your son how to be a man without moving him into the position of being the man of the house. You can say, okay, like, this is what men do. Now, you know, some might argue. That's what I'm saying. Like, right, and exactly. Some might argue that a single mother can never teach a boy how to be a man, right? And that's not the argument that I'm getting into right now, right? That's a whole other show. What I'm saying is that assuming, right, that's a whole other show. What I'm saying is that assuming that is the case, right? There's a difference between telling your son or showing your son how to be a man and moving him into the position. There's a completely different emotional space. You know what I'm saying? One is, I'm telling you this is what men do. You're still my son, but I'm telling you that this is what men do. The other one is, I'm putting this emotional baggage on you
to do it.
Right, to do it, because I'm putting you in the position of being the man of the house. And that is what messes boys up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That is what messes boys. That is when you start to grow up. You at 13, at 10, you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to feel like you're the man of anybody's house. You're supposed to feel like you're a boy growing up. You know, you're not supposed to feel like exactly.
I mean, no matter this is what this is what ladies do. Women do this, and even if you don't say it, like, you're modeling it. And I think as a mom and not having, you know, the dynamic where it's like my sons can see that in the household, even still, I mean, I'm not the equal of a man to show my sons how to be men, but I do definitely tell them, like, oh, no, this is what men do. This is what boys do. This is what, even at a young age, women do this, boys don't do this, boys don't do that. Like, it still defines a role of gender and what men are expected to do in being brought up. That doesn't make you a man just because you're show things about what you're supposed to do.
You gotta respect hierarchy, or else then, like, all respect is lost.
I have a question, unrelated question in the midst of it, and this is just, again, this might go off topic, but in the context of that, how would a single mother show a boy how to be a man in this generation of, like, gender neutrality? Right? Where everybody's like, we shouldn't define roles for men, but it's okay for your son to walk around.
Yes, he said, well, how
you know, it's okay for your son to walk around in a dress, you know, because we're not defining gender. How does that,
Sherado,
for a single mother, I imagine that would be extremely difficult.
I'll be happy to answer that question. I do believe in gender roles.
Okay.
You know, so if my son is walking around in a dress, I'm going to have a problem with that.
Okay.
Absolutely. I will never try to teach my son how to be a man, because I'm not a man. Mm-hmm. He has a father, and I don't even consider myself, even though his father and I aren't together, I don't consider myself a single mother, because he has a very involved father that will teach him how to be a man and all that comes along with all of that. But if my son starts walking around in a dress, it's going to be a problem.
What do you mean a problem?
You know, like, we are going to have to get into this, figure it.
So you're gonna tell him not to wear a dress?
Yeah, don't worry.
What do you think is gonna happen next?
I'm not into, we all live the same way, and, you know, no, we don't all live the same way.
But I'm saying, if you tell him to stop wearing a dress because you don't like it,
he's not going
what's
to
next?
Be wearing a dress. So he ain't gonna stop.
If the boy wants to wear a dress,
no, he's not gonna get there.
That's not how. That's not how psychology works.
His father is not having it.
But what do you mean not having it?
So that's a phone call to dad. Hey, your son.
Then that means he's gonna run away. Like, y'all don't understand psychology.
Real grown and wear a dress.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to be like Caitlyn Jenner wearing a dress.
So as the only other
problematic
woman
on so
at the
many
table
levels.
who has children.
Yeah, speak on it.
So I think it's interesting because it goes back to me when
Sorry.
having the two older kids. I used to live.
That wasn't me.
In Columbia Heights, in a particular area where there was a lot of commonalities of same-sex couples, And so from an early age, my kids would be like, oh, well, mommy, you know, there's a lot going on. And what does this mean? Why do we see men holding hands or kissing on the street? And I'm just like, okay, well, that's what they're into. Like, that's their thing or whatever. And I don't necessarily feel like that's what your life is going to be, but that's what we respect everybody's choices. So now it's interesting because I have a 15 and 13-year-old. We see certain artists like Young Thug and things like that. And I said things on purpose intentionally, things like that. And there's an explanation of, you know, there is a style where men are wearing more fitted clothes, and to me that's cool.
It's a little different than a dress.
No, but
he wears full-on dresses.
Some of them fitted clothes,
it gets
they
to
toe the
okay,
line.
But see, for me, I'm old school in that mindset, right? Like, I didn't grow up in an era where guys were wearing really fitted clothes, and so like it's still, even though the style has changed, I'm not saying that it's because you wear fitted clothes now you're gay, but like certain things that I'm just like, oh, super skinny is different than just skinny.
But
like,
look,
so just to answer the question, the conversation is like, okay, well, you can have your style and you could do your thing, but I'll be quite honest. Certain things in my household, I'll look at and I'll be like, and my son and I'll be like, would you do that? Because that's gay.
What do you mean that's gay? You talking about having sex with a man?
No,
I'm talking
because that's the only activity in my mind
when
that's
you listen
gay.
to Young Thug's lyrics and you listen to, like, I would
What lyric you talking about?
But look, this is the whole thing. Wait, look, this is the whole thing.
Gay. Search for gay Young Thug lyrics.
Listen, this is
because it's probably a listing.
As a
whole
parent,
freaking book. And there's certain songs that I've had conversations with him. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, that's gay. But before I say that, I'm like, okay, so how do you feel about
Right?
this?
Why do you like this?
What do you mean though? That's gay.
But look, outside of
don't get me
gay
started.
or not gay or whatever, there's a certain thing that goes on in the household. Like, my household is not a democracy. Like, it's a republic. He does not have his.
It's a republic.
It's not due process.
Mine is a dictatorship.
No, right. It's like what I say.
What
I'll listen. I'll listen. But then, like, what I say is the word.
Right.
So you can't get your ear pierced. You can't get tattoos. Like, that shit can't happen until you're out in your own shit and making your own decisions. You can't wear your hair a certain fucking way because you're in my shit.
Yeah.
Now you go to your shit and live it up. But like, until that day, he got to do this.
But do you know what happens when you do that? Like, I lived under the same circumstances. When I went to college, the third day I was at college, I died. Yeah, man, you don't know. I dyed my hair because I had hair, like, full voluminous hair. I dyed it. I dyed it orange. The third day that I was down there.
Jesus, he rapped on the third.
Hey, I'm saying though, because I felt constricted with the way I was growing up, I finally had some freedom.
It's fine, but guess what though? You still came back to what your parents taught you.
Right.
And you
I don't see orange hair right now.
On your 7th day, you woke up.
I don't know what accent that is.
I just made it up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, like, there's a balance between being a strict parent and being an open parent, right? Because there's still some fundamentals that you were taught where now you had the freedom, you wild out, you dyed your hair.
Yeah, I wore bandanas constantly.
Crazy shit, but you still came back to the foundation of which is who you are.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're still that person.
I'm okay now. A lot of cocaine in between then and now, but I'm okay.
Crack, just powder.
Yeah, just powder.
If that foundation wasn't there,
I would still be on that rock.
You would still be crazy.
Yeah, I made it off the rock. Did this nigga turn my mic off? Okay.
If they did not get in your ear, like if it was just always like, well, whatever you say, whatever you say, no telling what you be saying right now.
That's true.
And that's just how I feel. And
So what you say?
I see a lot of parents going through that now, and they really need help, and they call me stressed out like I'm doing something special, but I don't think I'm doing anything. Like, I'm not stressing myself to do what I'm doing in terms of raising my son.
So, quick question: would you ask? What about clubbing with your kids when they're of age?
Hell yeah.
What age? Like 18?
18 or 21.
It depends.
It has to be 21.
Well, you go to the 18 and over joint.
Unless we're
I have a daughter, so I'm never gonna be cool with seeing some of the stuff that I see some of the girls doing in the no. Hell nah. I'm not. Nah. I'm not gonna be there for that.
Like, just think
no.
of your son.
I'm going to jail that night.
Or you have a daughter. Okay, wait, hold up. What if your daughter was
23?
That's cultural. I mean,
I'm trying to think like who. I'm trying to think like how that shit would work.
Like Fetty Wap.
Okay, well I know it's a
Fetty Wap has one eye. Can I just put that out there?
So he can focus on that.
I was shocked when I learned that because I didn't know that at first.
That means anybody can make
that nigga has one eye.
Look at Drake and his dad, right?
Yeah.
If your son was balling out the frame,
I mean, like patching everything.
I would be at every event in the back with a big 6-button suit on.
Drake's
and a
dad was a
Kango.
pimp. Okay, we know. Yeah,
Well, not a literal pimp,
not a
but-
literal pimp, but
but
we've
pimpish.
seen the pictures. You know what I'm saying? We know the history.
No,
that
iceberg
nigga was a
stuff in it.
pimp. That nigga was a pimp. Drake's dad was a pimp. He came back after Drake made it big. They reconciled, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he was a
But I
pimp.
guess it was
So that
on
might
the
not be
Memphis
the
every
best
summer,
example.
From what I heard.
What'd you say?
He was like coming to Memphis every Sunday.
Summer?
Every winter.
I don't know.
That's a song, Urbanista.
My son is 15.
Yeah.
All right, so like he could make it in the. I mean, in if he wants to be an architect, he could do that, whatever. But I'm saying he could literally make it in the major leagues in 5 years.
In baseball.
Yeah.
That's his thing. The baseball's the one that could work.
Like forget college, just go to major leagues.
Oh hell yeah! Like if you're calling.
Does that happen? I don't follow baseball. Does that happen?
Yeah, basically they take you from high school and then you go to the minor leagues and then they develop you.
Like what if he's hella cool?
Yeah.
He's kicking it. I'm at spring training.
Yeah.
The situations are spring training is the shit.
And also, I think
you know
Are
what
you
word
talking
he's
about?
about to say.
Wait,
You
are
know
you
what
talking
word
about
he's
your
about to
son's
say.
groupies? You're gonna bag your son's groupies?
hell yeah.
They're major league groupies at that level.
Are they over 21?
But
Yeah, of
We
course.
talking about the major league. We talking about the Oakland A's.
If they over 21, I got nothing to say.
Wait. Let me add some salt to the game. What if you actually
Look at
they're
Sherrod.
there for
It's
your
Tinder
son,
life.
and they're like,
Oh no, I'm gonna let him win. This ain't no contest.
Nah, but then
you
his
don't
son could
know.
pass
But I'm
some
saying-
joints.
No, I'm saying, but we will be totally kicking it together. We be kicking it. This like people.
Y'all
wanna-
competing over 22-year-olds.
If he's a good son,
I'm just saying.
grindstone. If
I
he's a
be
good
throwing
son,
him in there, he might throw me in
if you raised him properly, if he's a good
gross.
son, he will throw you something.
It's a little
Okay,
gross.
he must.
a little
It's
gross.
owed. He literally owes you. Hell yeah.
We just happen to
It's a little gross.
He should
I just
throw
had a
you
conversation with my man on Tinder. He 30-something. He bagging 22-year-old chicks on Tinder and smashing. We having discussions about whether that's disgusting. And I'm like,
It is disgusting.
I'm like, it's kind of nasty, dude.
Wait, he's in his
It's kind of nasty. Yeah,
He's
he's
37.
in his 30s. He's
I'm
young
in my 30s. I just
31,
deleted
30,
Tinder though. It makes me
31.
uncomfortable.
Is he married?
No.
A lot of people on Tinder.
Tinder is gross. You know what's the worst about Tinder? When a girl says, "I'm not here for hookups. I'm not here for Netflix and chill."
And then she hooks up and Netflix
and like,
chill.
bitch, why are you
Now,
here?
Urbanista, can you imagine?
Why
if
are you here?
Your daughter hits it big, and she's
When
like
she
the
does.
next
Wait, how many years older are you than your daughter?
I'm 18.
Oh, that's nothing.
You're 40. She's 22.
Oh.
y'all will definitely be in the same place kicking.
And
Hell
y'all
yeah.
are sharing the same men, basically.
No, that's different for women. It's
That's
different for women.
Icebox
We're not-
versus.
okay,
Same
let
age.
me keep it 1,000% real for everybody on the panel.
You shouldn't say man.
If I'm 40 and she's 22, if I went somewhere with her at 22, it'd be celebrate her birthday or something that was like a special occasion for her that might happen to be at a club. Let me finish. However, when she does her thing, because she will do her thing when she's grown, she will be highly successful. I would never have sex with anyone or even date anyone who was her age.
You say that now.
What?
Let a brother in a 3-piece suit come on, and he
not talking
got a
about
little
age.
startup. He got a startup.
But they're gonna be
He's
Let-
22. He got a startup. You know what I mean?
Let
He got
Tay
a car. He got a
Diggs
Tesla.
walk up on the beach. Let Tay
Yeah.
let Tay Diggs walk up
That's
on the
what
beach.
you would do. That's what you would do. You would
And
fuck Tay
you
Diggs.
would- you and your Angela Bassett mode.
If
You know what I'm saying?
okay, you're single. You're single.
You
You're
about
hanging
to
out
get
with
your
your daughter.
groove back.
You're hanging out with your.
I'm not going to be single.
This is a hypothetical that I'm creating right now.
Y'all go to clubs and it's Washington Wizards and Redskins. And
Yeah.
Who gives a shit about?
Not like y'all are sweating it, but y'all are in the same room partying.
So what?
And a dude
So
throwing you
Your
vibes.
daughter was there, or your son was there.
No.
What does that mean?
Am I
age.
really
That doesn't
going
move
to
anybody.
let like
Same age.
holla at a 20?
I don't
You
know
don't
about,
need to holler.
I
He
don't know
hollers
about
at you.
smashing 22-year-olds if you
Right,
over
I'm gonna
30.
let
I
him
just
holler
I don't
at
know.
you.
Such a weak
I don't know
argument.
about
What you
that.
mean,
No,
let's?
No. You wouldn't be hollering at the same
This is so
individual.
flawed.
But it's the
Everything
same
is
group
flawed.
of people.
What is it? What is
Just
the
like it
basis
is if
of
you
this
go to a club
argument?
tonight.
But that's not
We
going
got you.
down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Big Pun had some rhyme. I can't remember the rhyme.
It's so hard.
But
This is what I'm saying. If you 30 and you hanging at Howard, them niggas gonna look at you like you nasty.
Well, yeah, that's
Word, but not if you got like a Phantom.
If you fishing at Howard,
but if you got a Phantom though,
if you fishing that's what I'm saying. Like I seen somebody put up a Howard in like a green Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I shout out to people at Howard. I'm sure somebody has seen this guy before. Put up a Howard in like a green Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Clearly, this guy was looking.
He did not leave alone. I'll tell you that right goddamn now.
That's what I'm saying. That's a little shady.
Okay, I'll buy your books. I will take care of you.
That's a little shady.
I do think that there's a certain time in life when you can totally be cool with your child and kick it like
it's when they're adults.
You do not have to be sharing.
I think it happens like
no, you don't share the same person. I mean, you know.
Well, that's for the young
fly. Say in 5 years, right? Say in 5 years. Say 5 years, he's getting a major league check.
I'm becoming friends with him tonight. I'm gonna.
No,
is he on Facebook?
The same groupie, but then say like
the
what
same pool of groupies.
Yeah, the same group.
I mean, that's enough said.
What if Karuchi get at him or something?
Okay. Is he on Facebook? Because I need to get down with him.
I don't respect anybody screwing housewives.
Deal with this. I cannot.
Okay, so is he on Instagram?
You can't do the housewife.
You and Sydney are.
Okay, is he on Twitter?
People kick it for her birthday.
What social media is your son on so I can connect?
The 22-year-old will get smacked in the face. Like, why
you're not sharing the same person.
See, I don't want him to think that I'm just there when he makes it to the majors. I want to be friends with him now.
My daughter.
The next place where you go, it's the same pool as your daughter.
They won't even be able to relate to me. Like,
how you figure?
Point taken.
With someone who cannot even relate
There's
to me.
Because of the muscles.
That is so.
Well,
that's what you said? Because of the muscle. Because that's how you got to show muscles.
Well, we got to wrap up the show tonight, guys.
Wrap it up.
Final thoughts.
What?
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts are that tomorrow, hey, Comedy and Cut, we're going to do a 420 show I'm hosting. Big name comedians, Jamel Johnson. He just opened for Kevin Hart and Louis C.K. last week. He's big. Paris Sachet, come through. You can do all the 420 things if you want or not. Or not.
Or no.
Or no. Mm-hmm. Also, as far as this topic, be friendly with your kids. Don't be their friends. Swag.
Is it me? Is it my turn? Really enjoy being on the panel with you guys tonight. Have me back.
Absolutely.
You guys can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everything. Just at my name, R. Kayeen Thomas. That is R.Kayeen Thomas. Cop the book. It's Antebellum. The second book is 7 Days. The third book is Light Stories of Urban Resurrection. That is only available on ebook. And look out for my films, which will be coming pretty soon. Also have a video circulating around Facebook of a poem that I did.
And the whole AskCherado is
right. Called We the People. So you guys check that out. I know for a fact that Courtney shared it, and I will get everybody else to share it as well. Thank you guys for having me. This was great.
Urbanista, final thoughts?
Everybody be safe. Watch out from the cicadas.
They coming back?
They not bothering nobody.
When they coming back? They so big.
It's not that big of a deal.
Happy 420.
Yeah, the 7 years cicadas.
Friendly and as far as don't
a really
trust
big
your
fly.
kids. That's it.
Well, don't touch them?
Don't trust them.
Don't trust them. Don't share the groupies. And tomorrow, go to grindstoneuniversal.com. Mm-hmm. I'm releasing this album, Black Ambrosius.
Black Ambrosius coming out tomorrow. It's about to drop. Right. It's about to drop. You know he painted that, y'all, with a blindfold on.
Sunday night.
Painted that Sunday night.
And drunk.
Yeah, so we like it's really a time you can share this music with your children. They'll grow up real fast behind this.
They want with your friends.
Enjoy.
Let me tell you about your drugs.
And as always, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be right back here Tuesday nights, as always, 8 to 10 p.m. on the AskCherado Show, right here on WLVS, ListenVisionLive.com.
Done, no.
Stay fabulous.
Thank you, guys.
Church.